All right, what's up, everybody? All right, so welcome to another session of the Masculine Mind, where we focus on male masculinity, self-improvement, and purpose. We're here with Dave, Mr. Sophisticated Jerk, for tonight's panel, and we have another good topic. We're going to talk about, is it a man's nature to be monogamous? So we have a great topic to discuss. As always, if you're tuning in, if you see value in the content, the best way to support the channel is smash that like and subscribe button real quick. And if you do want to jump on, this is a virtual public show. The link is in the description on YouTube. Come over to YouTube and you'll be able to access the link. And of course, if you do want to drop a super chat and or have any questions or topics you guys want us to respond to, drop it through a super chat and we'll be able to respond to you guys. So as always, do appreciate you guys for always tuning in. Thank you so much. But we'll go right into it because we have I'm very I want to dive into this topic and break down this topic. This is a topic I do see that's constantly talked about a lot, especially in the red pill space online. So I do want to break down this topic. So as always, I do appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll pass it back to the panel. Fellas, thank you so much for jumping on for tonight's panel and part of the Masculine Mind. If you guys don't mind, you want to give yourself a quick intro before we go ahead and get it started. I'll start with you, Jerk. Go ahead.
All right, man. It's a Sophisticated Jerk, procurement executive up in the DMV area, married 22 years now. Glad this is definitely a good topic, man. Glad to see Dane back. They've been tying our OG up. We got to get him back.
All right, no worries, Drake. Always good to have you on the Masculine Mind. And I'll pass it to you, Damien. Damien, good to have you back. Go ahead and give yourself a quick intro.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dame. Glad to be back. You know, good to have the thorough ass OG old head on here or something like that. Nah, it's been cool. I'm 49 years old, married 17. I'm going on 17 years. Yeah, looking forward to it. Part-time host of Can I Get Some podcast sometimes when I got time.
All right. Thank you so much, fellas. Jerk, Damon, always good to have you guys on the pod. But yeah, if you're tuning in right now, get the live chat popping and let me know what you guys think. But we're going to break down this topic. It's a topic that's always constantly talked about in today's space, especially what I see online. You know, there's this whole content I see that when it comes to loyalty and when it comes to being faithful as a man, there's this whole movement. What I see online, just saying that it's not a man's nature to be monogamous. We're not built. We're not wired that way to be monogamous to relationships. And there are a lot of women out there, especially in today's hookup culture, today's current dating market. Based on the conversations I've had with multiple women on the podcast, there's a lot of women that just don't believe that men, especially the attractive men, especially the men that they want, as they become more successsive, it's hard for them to believe that they're going to be monogamous and faithful to one woman. And the sad reality for a lot of women, we have got to a point where a lot of women are just accepting that they're going to cheat. And, you know, whether they're going to be a side chick, whether they're going to be not the main woman, but that's just the reality. So it's good to have this discussion because oftentimes it's one-sided. I don't see a lot of content that's pushing men to getting married, and also giving them the encouragement that, you know, it is possible for you to find a good woman and you guys can have a long-lasting, faithful, committed relationship. So, but let's break down this topic. Let me just play this clip real quick. I saw that was on TikTok. I don't know if you guys know who Justin Waller is, but he was kind of conveying the message I constantly see online from a lot of men, especially in the red pill space, saying that as men, you know, men are always going to cheat eventually in the relationship because it's just within our nature as men to not be monogamous.
Old system.
Yeah.
And I think it's in us.
Why do you think guys that when they do become successful are not wanting to settle down?
They have choice.
They have choice.
I mean, it's an ugly truth, and I get a lot of flack because of it. I mean, as long as time, outside the last 100 years, monogamy really wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you were able to put yourself in a position of power, you would have more than one woman.
Yeah.
That is an old system.
Yeah.
And I think it's in us. And you could say that it's immaturity, or you could say that it's insecurity. You could say all these things, but on the macro, I believe that men are just very, very attracted to women.
Yeah.
And they do like to have sex.
Yeah.
They do like variety, and not popular, but very true.
Why do you think? Because
All right, so that was a clip. Okay. All right, so that was a clip I saw. You know, there's this whole content online. I see that, you know, they're saying that men, it's not our nature to be monogamous, and that's the reason why. That's the reason to justify why men can step out, especially if you're very successful, especially if you become that type of man. That if you have options as a man, women just need to accept that it's not within our nature to be monogamous. We're always going to have sex or a woman on the side, but we'll just keep you as the main chick or the main wife. So, interesting topic to have. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. But I'll start with you, Damien. What's your opening thoughts about the topic? Is it a man's nature to be monogamous?
No, I don't think it's a man's nature to be monogamous. I think men can be incentivized with more peaceful, like, you know, to be monogamous in relationships or what have you. I think they can get to a point where, you know, they're concerned about their woman feeling secure because they feel like that's a part of the thing they need to do is make them feel secure, and going out and banging a bunch of chicks on your woman and stuff like that is, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, which was making her feel secure. So no, it's not in your nature. So any woman who's deluding herself and thinking that your man is out in the world and he just don't see other women, he just avoids them because he's incentivized by what you bring to him to not fuck up what you guys have, you know. But men don't always want to have sex with other women. It's just biologically, we're just predisposed to do that. We're built to physically impregnate as many women as possible, as quick as possible. Yeah. So I don't think it's in a male's nature to be monogamous.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Damien. I'll pass it to you, Jerk. What do you think, Jerk? Is it a man's nature to be monogamous?
I think initially, no. And I like what like Dame kind of broke down. And I think what tends to happen, especially when you're younger, man, you're just attracted to women, period. But you start getting disciplined, you know, and whether it's like coming through religion, or you just find like the right woman that, like Dame said, like got the right characteristics and attributes, and you know, you're willing just to be with that female and stuff. So I think you have to kind of grow into that discipline. And I also think, like, as a man, I tell people all the time, like, man, you got to blind yourself with like productivity, where you're like, you know, chasing your goals and stuff, you know, your vision, your dreams and all that. And if you have a family and stuff, you know, you put all that stuff before your temptations. And that's what I'm saying. It kind of ties into the discipline. When you do that, then, you know, you just see higher value in like your relationship and stuff. You're not willing to put any of that at risk, you know. So I think that's what happens with the guys that are disciplined. It's just like you have things that's way higher value than, you know, the regular temptations, you know, the basic sex that you can get from chicks and stuff. And you just start seeing that stuff as like obstacles or things that could just blow up your kingdom that you're trying to build, your empire and stuff. So yeah, I think you just got to kind of start phasing that stuff up. And when you start getting older, you start, like I said, you start getting them years in your relationship. You got your family. You're just like, it's not even worth that. You start kind of get them blinders on based on your success and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And to try to poke to something, I'm gonna go back to what the clip said. He said something really interesting. He was like, because they all of a sudden, like these guys who go and they work hard to be successful, sometimes these guys maybe the first time they've had options or access to a variety of different women, you know. But guys who kind of were like good looking all the time, you know, popular, you know, what have you, who it wasn't like a novelty thing that women were attracted to you and you had no real problem getting women. It doesn't hold as much, you know, fantasy. You don't pedestalize the hooking up with a bunch of women after a certain amount of time. Just like Jerk said, after a while, it becomes a detriment to what you're trying to accomplish. It becomes an impediment where you just like, you know, you sidetrack and you're dealing with a bunch of bullshit related to it. So I think if you're the kind of guy who, you know, realistically had options throughout the entirety of his youth and young adulthood, when you get to the point where you're successful and what have you, you're not looking all right, now I can have the hot chick that I couldn't get in high school and college. You know, I think a lot of cats are reliving their college and high school years later on in life. Some people, I remember one thing we were watching, some people call it's the revenge of the nerds. you know, where they are now they're this sought after one because they have resources and they may have, you know, they may have worked out and got themselves in shape and got money and stuff like that. Now they can have access and they can be that person that they wanted to be in high school and college.
And I like what Dame's saying, man, because I definitely caught that too. So I'm glad you spoke on that. Because you could tell, like, even by the way he was talking, like, definitely you could tell he worked out, he got his stuff together. But like I said, he probably newer to having options, like he said, and stuff, and females. So, you know, like Dame said, they tend to put the females on a pedestal and stuff. But you know, the sad thing with that too is like a lot of guys like that don't understand female nature. So, you know, all it takes is one slip up. You know, we see a lot of, you know, guys that's tapping into their temptations now. That's kind of, you know, females are going and turning them in, or, you know, they're getting all these like legal things that's coming with all that stuff. You know, look at like a Diddy and all them type of dudes. So, like I said, like Dame was saying, it's just like, man, if you had, you know, access when you were younger, you tend to understand that. And like I said, you could just focus in on your career and stuff like that. Not saying like you got to completely tone out women and stuff, but you just understand like what comes with that. Because another thing, like online, you know, you hear guys that's talking about, oh, you can mess with multiple women and this. It's just a time element that comes with that. So it's like if you're trying to hit the gym, then you're successful at your job, and then I be looking at some dudes. I like, man, I don't know how you got all the time to be like juggling all that, you know. So it's just I think it's a fallacy a lot of times in dudes' minds too, where it's going to end up jamming you up in some part, you know.
Yeah, I mean, because dudes want, I think for the most part, they get to the point where it's just like you value over, you know, like Chris Rock had that perfect thing. He was just like, new pussy can't read, you know, who's gonna teach your children to read, you know? He's like, who's gonna, you know, it's like, you know, that kind of shit. It's just like one of those things where it's just like, you know, it's you value the peace that you can enjoy because you've worked so hard to get to a point where if you've already had access and you don't put women in this place of, okay, they're gonna fulfill something that was empty in me. You look at one person as the peace when you get home, the curator and the nurturer of your legacy, and the person who is going to show you appreciation for the things that you're doing. Small white pocket there. What's up, baby? What you call it? I think for the most part, that's how you're going to view the whole like man-woman thing when you get successful and you're a little bit older.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm too cheap to be having like multiple chicks, man. Y'all know I'm cheap. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You're passing out Starbucks cards.
I do agree with you guys. I do agree from the biological perspective. We are built to be to go out there and procreate, to be able to sleep with as many women as we can for the sake of continuing the species. So I do understand that part. But I do want to push back, especially for a lot of the ideology that I see online that we are powerless to our nature. You know, that's what I see. You know, the pushback I would have for the people who believe that we have no control over our nature as men. I mean, that's what makes us different from animals, right? That we have agency. We have the power of choice. You know, animals are always going to act to their nature, but for us as human beings, we have the ability to make a choice. That's what separates us from everybody else. So I do want to ask you guys, Damien and Jerk, and you guys already described the multiple reasons of why a man would be able to discipline himself sexually to optimize his life to live the best life possible. So I do agree with the outside of the religious view. I already know why people who are religious, why they don't sleep. You know, it goes against their very beliefs and what they believe in, especially when it comes to their faith. But I want to talk more about especially the men who are watching this who are not religious, who are more secular. Why would a man outside of religion decide, especially a man that's constantly working on himself to become the best man he can be, to fulfill his potential? Of course, naturally, as he progresses, he's gonna be attractive to a lot of women. And why would a man who has a lot of options choose to go against his very nature to take advantage of those options, but to focus his life on one woman in raising his kids and his family? What would drive that man to be faithful and not become victim to his own nature to not be monogamous? I pass it to you, Damien. Why would a man do that?
Yeah, like I said, it comes down to you know, you have to find that the person that you are interested in provides something value over the physical. Like my wife provides amazing insight when I want to do stuff, and she's a sounding board, and I can bounce stuff off of her, and she provides great insight that I value. So I appreciate that. She is hot, so that helps too. But it's just like one of those things where it's like her insight, her intelligence, her long-term thinking, what have you. We're on the same path, and she's rare. She separated herself from other women by doing things that were specific to me. That finding out the specific things that I needed to be appreciated, loved, heard, things like that, respected. And she makes sure that she continuously does those things, and she takes pride and value. She sees value in doing those things. Yeah. I think what women do is if a woman can set themselves apart, it makes it a lot easier. But I think ultimately, like the question was, why would a man do it? I mean, if they're really looking to have something long term, and if they really see the value in it, like I feel like I wouldn't be where I'm at right now in life if I wouldn't have met the woman that I had. And I think that's if they can successful enough of picking the right partner, and they don't let the bullshit of kind of block their view, and they get askew by stuff. I think it makes it a lot easier to see all the other things as just a distraction, as something that could be a detriment to what I'm building here. If they really have a vision, they want to remove all impediments to getting to that end goal.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Damien. And I see you, Potter, on the live chat. Hey, good to see you, Potter, on the live chat. Jump on, Potter, if you want to. We have some room on the panel, so if you do want to jump on within an hour, 8 o'clock, you can jump on with us when the ladies jump on. But pass it to you, Jerk. Outside of religion, why would a man decide, especially men? I'm not talking about the incels. Of course, those guys they will take anything they want.
You talk about a man that built himself up. He got some options and stuff.
I'm not talking about the incels. I'm talking about the guys who are actually putting the work, and the guys that typically most women will want to be in a relationship with. And he has some options. Why would he choose to go against his very nature as a man to not be monogamous and just dedicate himself in his entire life to his woman and his family?
Well, I kind of I think Dame was hitting on it somewhat, where it's just like if you by the time you hit a certain age, man, you done, had some interactions with females, and when you get a good chick that has that value and is reciprocal, it's rare, because most people are coming to relationships to pretty much take, whether it's time, resources, your emotional bandwidth. When you see that person that's rare, you're just like, you know what, man, let me just hang on to this because, I'm not being drained in, like I said, those different areas. So you're cool with committing to that because, like I said, it's since you had those experiences and stuff, you're like, this is rare, and I need to, keep this female because she's not here for the wrong reasons. It's reciprocal. So the energy is just different. You're not drained. You actually want that person around. And like what Dame said, like they had that value, that insight in different areas. So it just feels like so many different voids, like on an intellectual level. So I think when you get that, you kind of look at everybody else like, yeah, you know what, that looks good, but all the other categories, like your lady hits, you look at that as like, it's not worth that risk, and you could just easily tone that stuff out. So I think that's what happens a lot. And then also like, just the reality is when you're juggling multiple women, you're juggling personalities. And I couldn't do it because I was telling somebody the other day, I was just like, man, I wouldn't have the emotional bandwidth to do that, man. I only got enough patience and tolerance for one. So I tilt my hat to all of them that could do it, but I just can't do it. And like I said, I'm also cheap. That's even if you're going on coffee dates, nowadays, but it's like $20 for a small cup of coffee. So it's like, even if you're going to some basic stuff, that shit costs. Like, you going to a happy hour, you spending some bread, and me, I would rather be investing that, into my legacy and, my future and stuff versus a bunch of random dates. So yeah, you got to be a woman that has her shit together for me to be sitting there, investing in her like that. So yeah, I just couldn't even do it just based on that, being cheap, Scrooge McDuck style.
Yeah, for me, just thinking about for myself, I think, if you're an incel, if you're a man that is not working towards your potential and purpose, and you're not typically the type of man that women would want to be, and you're undesirable, I think you don't have nothing to lose. But I believe as men, as you're working towards something, as you're creating a legacy, as you're building something for yourself and for your future, you have something to lose. That's just the way I see it, right? So, and you guys brought up, oftentimes what I see online, they always talk about the positive, or they always glorify the positive thing of being with multiple women, but they don't never talk about the risks and the consequences, what comes with juggling and trying to date multiple women. And one of the things I always think about, because, I'm still out here, I'm still out here in the streets, and, there is some options out there. But one of the things I just never want to do is I never want to invite a low quality woman just for the sake of sex, and then bring somebody that might jeopardize everything I'm trying to build for myself, and it's my legacy, especially my reputation. So, and there's been so many examples, and we've seen it, Damien the Jerk. How many times have we seen people online who call themselves, the leaders of relationships, to talk about relationships, but then something comes up later that they had something on the side, or the woman says something, or lies, or tries to say something to bring down their reputation, or take them down legally. So, and for me, I just can't afford that at this point in my life. That's just the way I see it. So, I work too damn hard. If you people who watch my channel know, I'm from a small island of Tonga. I don't even know how I made it to YouTube. I don't know how I made it. The probability of me growing up in the islands and come here to America and having a great conversation with great men on this panel and starting a YouTube channel. That's something that most people I'm from can dream about. And for me, it's just, I've worked too damn hard to get to this point, just to not be disciplined, just let some low quality woman come into my life and lie, either lie about something, try to blackmail me to get something out of me, just to put myself in a position where I might risk everything that I have, or not only that, but also lose, jeopardize my reputation with the things especially for myself. I've put in a lot of work with my character, also the relationships I've built with people. For one person to come online and say something about me that's totally not true, and then jeopardize my whole reputation that I built. And definitely put in work to be disciplined for myself. So, yeah, that's just something I think about. I think for guys, I think it's just optimizing, especially if you have a plan, you have a goal, you're trying to build something, you have a long-term purpose of what you're trying to figure out for yourself. I think logically, most men who are trying to do that, we're rational. And I think we're just trying to optimize. We just want to live the best life possible. We want to make the best of the life we were given. And for me, it just doesn't make sense that, especially when I see men who are very successful, or they're finally building themselves after grinding for so many years, just going through the grind. And then maybe that 1 year, everything just turns around and things are starting to gain some momentum in their success. It just doesn't make sense for me just to, bring some low quality woman that you probably will never think about ever again except that one night, to bring that into your life and jeopardize everything that you've built. And I've just seen so many men, so many great men have done great things. Just that's going to be their legacy. Unfortunately, that it was ruined at the end just because of their lack of sexual discipline. Just inviting women who had no integrity, had no character. And if you bring those types of women, there is the risk that they're going to use anything possible or say anything against you, even if it's not true. Even if it's not true, it's just to bring you down or get money. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
that makes sense.
I think one of the things that that dudes can learn from is a lot of exactly where you are and what you're doing, Will,
Yeah.
is that I think if you were a guy who was out there wilding and you're young, you're just doing what young dudes do, you're enjoying it when you're young, good looking or smart or got money or popular or whatever, and you have easy access to this stuff, you take it back from when it's time for you to grow the fuck up and decide, okay, I want to be in a relationship. You have to kind of divest yourself from that lifestyle entirely in order to be focused enough to determine what are the values that you need that you're going to need in a partner for the long term. You know, because it's everything that you needed back in those days is just surface. Oh, she got a fat ass.
Yeah.
She looks good, or the sex is good, or whatever. Cool. I'm gonna marry this chick. You know, and I think that's where guys that don't take the time to kind of develop those values fuck up, and it makes it easier for falling those traps of infidelity and what have you. If you determine, okay, here are my non-negotiable, here's the values that I stand, here are the principles that I'm building my future on, and that's leading me in the direction I want to go, then you can just quickly eliminate women who don't align with that. And you can just be like, okay, you don't have value with that, or what you call it. And another thing, I think guys need to be 100% honest with themselves on this aspect. A lot of guys, they in these spaces, like they go, oh, low body count, low body count, low body count. If you're a guy who's been out there smashing and you got 50, 60, 70 women on your belt, and you meet a woman who's been with 2 guys, the likelihood of that person sexually fulfilling you is very low, unfortunately. And that's just calling a spade a spade. So you kind of need somebody who have the same sexual, not experience is a good word, but also like openness or whatever, the things that you may be into. Because you need to be honest with yourself. You can say, okay, I used to like this a lot, but I got with this good girl and she's not with it, and I can sacrifice that. At some point in your life, you're gonna be thinking, dang, what happened to the chick that let me spit in her mouth? You know,
Talk to her.
What happened to the Haktua chick? You know, and that's the thing that a lot of cats aren't honest with themselves. They think they want this chaste woman or what have you, and what they really want is a woman that has the skills of somebody, but has done the work to make it to where that's not all that they're about. So I think there's a lot of work, internal work that needs to happen for you to really be in a position to find somebody and be faithful to that person and get and it not be as hard as it should be.
So they want to find we talked about this before. They want to find the reformed hoe.
Yeah, the whore Madonna, the Madonna whore. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mr. Lucario, the link is in the description. I see you posted on the comments. The link is in the description on the video. It's not on the chat. So if you go to the description, if you go in the description, Lucario, Mr. Lucario, you can jump on with us. The link is right here, and we'll be right here. Go ahead, Jerk. You wanted to add on?
No, I was gonna ask you, man. Is nature the wrong word? Because I like what you were saying, Will, earlier, where you was talking about we're not animals. We got the ability to think stuff out. So at some time, I think nature might be the wrong word to use, where we're talking about this. Because, obviously guys like what Dame was kind of describing earlier, like, man, has that attraction to women. But like we kind of mentioned, it's just like, man, I think where people get mixed up in a lot of this, it just, honestly, it boils down to your, like probably the quality of female that you got with you, the arrangement y'all make with each other. Because, even a guy, he was like, oh, guys that I hear guys talk about, like, if you get in a monogamous relationship, you don't have no options. It's like, that's stupid, man. Like, just because somebody chooses that path, they might, like I said, just want to focus on, their success and stuff like that. They might want to hit a peak that most people ain't trying to hit. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, everybody can talk all that shit, but it takes time. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to, like I said, work out and also chase success, it's just like, man, you can't do everything. So something's got to give. So I think, that's what, probably tends to happen more or not. So you just got to make that kind of choice, like where you want to sit in. And some people would choose that route, but some people are just like, hey, man, I'm got tunnel vision. I'm locking in on this. I got my chick. I'm good. I'm satisfied.
I really do think, I do think it's in our nature. It's absolutely in our nature, because how I feel like 2 reasons. Number one, you're attracted to women you see. It just happens. It's not like you get with somebody and you saying, okay, cool. You found somebody you love, and now the attraction for other women just leaves you. It just doesn't. It's just like you see a woman fat ass, like, damn, look at that. And you even have like, you know, thoughts about what it'd be like to smash it and stuff like that and what have you. You don't do it, and you know, because you value the situation you're in. And it's just like, and the thing is, you can do that and you don't feel bad about it. It's not like you feel bad about, oh my God, I saw this chick who was in a tank top and I was looking and, you know, it was attractive to me. You don't necessarily feel bad about it. You only feel bad if your wife is standing next to you and she catches you. And you're like, oh, my bad, baby. But it's just like, but if you walking with the boys and you see chicks, y'all point it out to each other, but look at that right there. Like, damn, you know, and it's like, you don't feel bad about it because you know, recognize it as just a part of, you know, being a man, that you are attracted to stuff like that. You're attracted to women and fit the physical body of a woman.
But see, now I get with you on the attraction piece, but I'm just saying, if you, because you know, when you think about like a tiger and stuff, man, they operate off of just instinct. They jumping on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think that since we have the ability to be, you know, have some restraint, you know, I think that's why nature might be the bad word. Because, you know, we do, like we talked about earlier, it's just like, hey, man, if you value your family or you took some oath, then, you know, if you could restrain yourself, then really it's not our nature. Because you know, you're looking at prevention and stuff like that. You know, you're not going to be going to certain scenes, you know, kind of staying away from that stuff. So that's why I'm saying maybe nature is the wrong thing. Because animals are just like, hey, I'm pouncing on that. It's a wrap, you know.
But they don't have discernment. That's what's said.
Yeah. No, I believe nature is the right word. And you said something, Jerk, and that we can, us as men on the panel, we can all relate to. You said instinct, right? Animals have instincts. Like men, we have instinct that we see a fat ass. Like there's something about pretty women that
it makes you happy.
Even though you're in a monogamous relationship, even though you're in a relationship, but there's just certain things that's natural for us that we see something that's very attractive in a woman. You know, it's natural for us to look. Like for me, even though I try to be as focused as I am, but if I'm in public and I see somebody I see a woman walking down the street extremely beautiful, there's something within me that just turns my head. It's not even me making the choice. It's like natural instinct, whether it's peripheral vision, you just, you know, just take a glance and look. But I think there's certain things as men that we have that instinct to when we see something attractive. But there's a purpose behind it. If you look at the psychology behind evolution psychology to make sure that we still continue the species, we're built that way. So that way that our species survive. All right, we need men to go out there constantly pursue women and procreate, because if we stop doing that as men, if we wait for women to make the first move, our civilization would have died out already.
Oh no, facts. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah, but like I say, I think that's a better word. Like we have instincts to things that just comes natural to us as men, especially when it comes to sexual attraction. But I'm saying it. But like I agree, like we do have a choice at the end of the day. So even though we do see something that instinctively we're just gonna go take a glance and look at it, but we still have a choice to make whether we pursue it or we don't pursue it. If you're single, of course, naturally you pursue it. But if you're in a committed relationship and if you already made a vow to somebody that you're going to be committed to and be responsible for it, then you have a choice to make. That our instincts don't. We have the ability to make sure that we can make a decision at the end of the day, even though we do have those instincts that we tend to feel sometimes when we're out there in public, or we do find women who are very attractive. But I wanted to respond to something that Jerk said, and I see Zyrex on the live chat. Hey, what's up, Zyrex? Good to see you. Good to have you on. Jerk brought up a point that I do agree with you. There is criticism from a lot of the guys in the space. They will say, you know, men who are in marriages or in committed relationships, those are the guys who had no options, because if they had options, they wouldn't be married or won't be in a committed relationship. No, I agree with you. That's absolutely false. But I do have a problem when a lot of guys who don't have options and they're in a relationship and they'll try to criticize men who work, very successful men who unfortunately, you know, they feel short when it comes to their values, especially when it comes to their commitments to their women. We all make mistakes as men, but sometimes I do have a problem with guys who've never been in that space or in that vicinity of being that attracted to a lot of women to understand the amount of discipline a man must be required, especially if you are constantly attracting a lot of women. I do find a problem. A lot of guys like who criticize Tiger Woods for being for his infidelity, even though I am against his infidelity because he is married. But I do see sometimes guys who are like, you damn near lucky to have a woman, but you wanna act like that you would be in the same shoes as Tiger Woods. You would be holy and be committed to a woman, but you've never been in that level in your life ever.
Yeah.
So
It's easy to be faithful when nobody wants you. It's easy to be faithful when nobody wants you.
Exactly. That's something I do have a problem with men who have never been in that level, never experienced that type of attraction and options. And you wanna have this virtue signal, act like that you would in the exact same situation, the same amount of status and money you would have as Tiger Woods, that you would be able to say no to all the Swiss models that came to his bus every single day. Come on, get out of here. Don't try to act like that you would do the same thing. That's my problem.
Because like you said, oh my bad.
No, go ahead.
Like you said, Will, in this space, man, I hate that everybody always has to try to be macho, man, because, even in the comment, oh, if you had game, you would know about the risk. It's just stuff like that. It's just like, man, I could look at the screen, or you could get a feel for somebody and be like, Dame, if he wanted to be out there, he could be out there, but I think always people got to try to take a swipe at somebody. It's like, man, we could look at the damn camera and shit and be like, or how somebody's talking.
My IG is completely public, and you can see Dame when he was 20 years old. When he was 20 years old. Man,
but it just turns into like a thing where like you were saying, Will, it's just like, man, we know who, but it's just like at the end of the day, yeah, I agree with you where man, if you ain't been in them shoes, then you need to you don't have no idea what it tells that.
What is it? Them armchair quarterbacks you're talking about, like, them setting armchair quarterbacks. And I see it all the time. I've been on panels with cats who were talking about this. And they swore up and down. They had it like that. And I'm like, dude, you didn't. I was like, show me your high school picture. Show me your college picture from college.
So y'all pulling up the high school photos.
I mean, show me the high school picture. That'll tell me how it was with you. Unless you was like come from a super rich family. It's just I can tell the cats who women were attracted to. It's just, and those are all the ones who like, oh, dick discipline.
What's good, man?
Hey, what's up, Mr. Cario?
What's up? Shout out to all y'all, man. Yo, I'll be watching y'all show, clips on the low heavy. So I be
watching y'all show too, man. I be telling people all the time, y'all got game over there, man. You from Brooklyn too? I got rep that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on with y'all though?
Good. How you doing, brother?
We're good. Thank you for jumping on. Thanks
for having me on. Thanks for having me on. You know what I'm saying? This is, so they hang out a little bit and shit. Nah, this is a dope topic, man. You know what I'm saying?
So what's your take on that, Lucario?
So what do you want to add on?
Is it a man's nature?
Yes. Listen, I'm non-monogamous, so I don't do no type of monogamy. I will never be monogamous ever again. Like that shit is dead. Like I'm not doing that ever. That's crazy to me now. Like back in the day, I was monogamous, but actually I wasn't because I kept cheating. So I was like, let me just be myself. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like that went. So. That's what
I be watching y'all. Y'all be straight like up front with it. Like I be hearing you guys talk about it. So you disclose that stuff up front, like when you get into situations and stuff. So yeah, I respect that. Like
it's better to do it that way because the thing is, at the end of the day, women don't really care about if you got other women. They just care about being deceived. So if they know you doing what you do, they make a choice and say, all right, cool, I'll still deal with you knowing you're doing this. The problem is you have guys that they say they want to be monogamous, they get into the relationship, then they're like, damn, they see all these girls, they want to make something happen, they be sneaking around, and then they deceive their girl, and that's really the issue, is the deception, not necessarily what he's doing. Because if he would have been straight up, most of the time the women would have been like, either I'm gonna kick it with you or I'm not, and then that would have been it. You know what I'm saying?
Or the dude hasn't established enough value to where he has access to that. Because if you've established it, whether it be financially, personality-wise, status-wise, you can demand that as a part of your interacting with me. Hey, if you get in with me, you know that I'm going to have other women, blah, 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 and what have you. But you can't just be like Joe Schmo thinking, you have access to that. And I think a lot of guys fool themselves and think it's just off rip that I want it, so I should be able to have it. And that's where dudes like really fuck up.
Right. I agree.
Well, because most of the time they look at it from a money component. Like they think when they get the money and stuff, then they try to buy the women. That's what they typically happen, and that's why I be laughing at them. I'm like, man,
it works for a while. It works for a while. It works for a short period of time, but
you know, it ain't even genuine though, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, but then after a while, the money goes. That's like it's that fabulous song. When the money goes, where the honey stay. You know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always tell guys the money thing. I always tell guys keep the money away because a lot of times, money is the more money you need, the less she's interested in you. So money is always compensation for her level of interest. That's why you could see women, they be with dudes who are bums. They let the dudes borrow their car, live in the house, do whatever to get the dudes money. But then there's other guys, they're like, yo, you got to take me out to dinner. You got to do this, this, and that. They saying that to the guys they're not really attracted to, whereas the guys they're really attracted to ain't got to do nothing. They just got to be there and be themselves. So anytime if it seems like you need to use money or the woman's requesting money from you, she don't really like you like that. That's what I'm trying to tell these dudes.
Yeah, seriously. And that's you're right. You're spot on. Because I tell my nephew, he was out there, dude, if she's trying to curate the experience, she don't fuck with you.
Right.
She don't like you. Because a woman that is rocking with you, she wants you to expose her to new shit. She wants you to make the experience. Right. If she said, I need to go to Nobu or I need to go to this, oh my God, I've never been to Turks and Caicos. She ain't right. She don't fuck with you. She fuck with your wallet.
Right. That's a fact. That's real shit.
Hey, Mr. Lucario, I had a question for you. Can you expand on your comment? You said that there's no risk if you have game.
Yeah, so basically what I usually, this is the thing I teach guys, only deal with women on your terms. So whenever you're dealing with women on your terms, everything goes your way. So therefore there's no risk. Risk only comes in when you're dealing with women on her terms or you have no structure of how you deal with women. So the thing is that if you're dealing with a woman, even if it's just like hooking up or you're trying to date, you're trying to, go to the direction of like, girlfriend, boyfriend, serious relationship, any situation you're in, there needs to be 100% cooperation at all points. So as soon as there's not, that's when you get rid of her. See, the issues come in when guys are dealing with women who don't like them. Anytime a woman is interested in you 100%, the cooperation is heavy 100%. So anytime you get resistance, that means there's disinterest. So what most guys do is they'll meet a girl, they'll try to holler at her. They say, hey, let me take you out to dinner and all that. And she'd be like, oh, I don't really know. I'm not really trying to date right now. That's already resistance right there. That's showing she's not interested. What he's going to do is he's going to chase. So then now he asks her again, yo, I'm just saying like, why don't we just be friends? Like we ain't really got to be, let's just like hang out. And she's like, nah, I'm not really, blah, blah, blah. He asks her a third time. Third time she gives in because he wore her down. But this whole time, she's not interested in this guy. So now he's dealing with this woman who initially is not interested in him. So then he continues to hook up, date her, take her out. Eventually, let's say he has sex with her. Let's say he's dating her. Now what happens is that because she was never really interested in this dude, she's been giving him resistance throughout the entire interaction, throughout their entire situation. So now, let's say for sake of argument, she's like, you know what? I don't really like this guy like that, but he got some money, he got some resources, whatever. I'm going to use him for this, for that, whatever. Now, at some point, when he does something she doesn't like, that's when she becomes vindictive because she never liked him in the first place. And the sign she never liked him in the first place was the first time she was resisting him. So this is why I tell guys, if a woman gives you any resistance, you charge her to the game. So therefore, you will never have to deal with all of that nonsense. You see what I'm saying? So the only women you deal with are the one who give you 100% 100% cooperation at all times. So that means that the woman is going to listen to you at all times. So for example, when I got with my now girlfriend, we've been together for almost 5 years now. When we first got together, right? Everything that I said, she was just down. There was no like, oh, can we do it this way? Oh, I don't feel like doing that today. But it was everything was yes, yes, yes. Whatever you want, yes, everything. So then I was like, okay, cool. She's being consistent with the yes, and she's being consistent with the cooperation. So then I give her more time, more energy, and eventually she became my girl. The problem with most guys is they get no's, and because she got a fat ass, they still try to holler at her. They get the resistance. You see what I'm saying? And then because that girl doesn't have any respect for him from the beginning, that's where the risk comes in. That's where you hear guys like, yo, this girl, she's playing games. She fucking slashed my tire. She did this, she did that. She accused me of false, all that other nonsense. That's because they're dealing with women who don't like them. This is why I always tell guys, like, fall back if there's no cooperation consistently throughout the entire situation. That's how it has to be.
What I feel like dudes who've never really had access to women, they view that shit as like a cheat code. They view it as, she wants to go to Noble, I'm gonna take her to Noble.
Right.
She's getting what she wants out of the situation. They think it's a cheat code, but really what it is just a path to being taken advantage of.
Right.
I think what it is just like you said, they need to set themselves. I always feel like this. Dudes need to bring women into their cipher, their circle, not the other way around. Like, for example, like somebody like, well, how do you do that? Like I was like, it was one cat who was new to the city when I was in the Bay. He was like, why do that? I was like, well, go out by yourself. Go out by yourself. Go out and go to a bar and become regular at that bar. Meet the bartenders. They know your name. So when you walk in, they can be like, hey, what's up, Dan? And you be like, hey, what's up, Steve? You're regular? Oh, yeah, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. That way, and in their mind, you've already built status up or what have you. I think dudes are afraid to do the work to build themselves up away from a woman. I think that's what it is, and because they think they want the woman to just tell them what they need to do to be their guy, but it's not. But women don't like that. Women they want you already fully formed and functional. They don't want to build you into anything, because what's going to happen? That dude that's did the work to establish his position they're gonna go to that dude every time over you.
That's some real shit, man. I'm telling you, these guys. That's the problem with these guys. They just so thirsty, so they'll just take anything, and then when shit hits the fan, they go crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
it was funny, man. A couple days ago, I was telling somebody, because I was watching our show, man. So I'll be tuning in. I was telling them I'm about to start buying people Bad Boy membership, start sending them your way. I just don't have patience to be talking to nobody like that. So I was like, I'm gonna start sending them your way, man.
Nah, just dudes got to stop being scared to tell women no. Like I had a caller into my show the other day. He said, and he went on a date with this girl. He told her, hey, let's sit over there. And she was like, well, I don't want to sit there. I want to just stay here. So then he ended the date. So the date lasted like a minute, and he just ended the date because she wasn't complying. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of guys would have kept going on the date even though she didn't listen to him. And that's the problem. So guys need to learn how to cut women off. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Stop dealing with women immediately when they're showing resistance, because what you have to understand is the desire. That's the thing that's going to make a woman actually be about it. This is why women will go and pay $1,000 to take a picture with Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? It's like they see that much value in him to pay him $1,000. You see what I'm saying? So I always tell guys, if she's not treating you like Chris Brown, don't even mess with her. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Mr. Lecari, I just want to ask you a question. Do you be rocking with Mr. 1950?
Yeah, that's my dude.
Yeah, he from the Bay, like I am. I'm from the Bay too. Yeah, I remember what you call it. I remember he was on Anton's show, and it was this big thing about Anton saying that he can flex him. And then I was talking about it on the show next day, and Anton came at me on some, why you say? I was like, because I know I can see that's a Bay dude. Mm-hmm. You are not. I mean, and it's just, and that kind of goes into what I was saying about like cats who. It's going to take a little more to make me believe that you've had access to that. Mm-hmm. So the things that you say hold merit and have credence or what have you. So because what you talk and what I've seen don't kind of align or what have you like that. So I think it goes just like what we're talking about, cats who have options. Mm-hmm. They may find it a little bit more or just getting options as opposed to cats who always had options. May have it a little bit more challenging to like pass up everything that come their way because like, oh my God, I never had hot women trying to get at me, so I must take advantage of it.
Right.
Yeah, because before you popped on, my thing is just like I was just telling them, I was like, man, I ain't got the patience nor the tolerance, and plus I'm cheap, so that's why it just ain't gonna work out.
No, that's real shit, man.
But like you just to give the best stay on topic, I think the way you set it up and is a way cats need to set it up. If you want to have it to where you can be non-monogamous in a relationship and the women abide by it and rock with it, even if they fool themselves into rocking with it, where you don't have to convince them into rocking with it. I think that's what happens a lot of times. Try to pull, like the dudes try to pull the square chicks into that kind of stuff, and it's just like it doesn't work out. You need to rock with the chick who are open-minded or can see the value in you to trying to get down with that situation. I think dudes would think, okay, I just want it because I want it, not because I've established myself as somebody of value that these women are gonna want. And I'm the prize. You're lucky to be with me. You know, so you sharing me shouldn't be a big deal. I think a lot of cats, they haven't done the work necessary to be able to set that as a parameter of a relationship that they're going to be in. And I think that's where, guys and the talk about that the whole cheating and like you said, deception comes in, is because they feel like they'll lose their woman because the woman don't see them value enough to share.
Right. No, that's a fact. Well, the thing is, it's interesting because I always tell people when it comes to game, it's about positioning. So meaning that a woman needs to see you as extremely valuable. The only way she can see you as extremely valuable is if you see yourself as extremely valuable first. And that comes in with how you treat yourself, how you see yourself, and how you deal with women in relation to how you see yourself. So basically what that means is that everything you say and do, right, is going to tell a story about you to the woman to let her know what type of guy you are. So most guys, what they do is they do things that indicate that they're not that guy. They're the guy that she could walk over, play games with, whatever. That's what most guys indicate through their words and actions. If you indicate the opposite, then she's like, oh, he's not like them. He's rare. Therefore, I see him as more valuable. Therefore, I'm willing to do what he wants to get that. You see what I'm saying? So for women have an abundance of males. But men are rare. So when they find a man, it's like, oh man, I want that guy. So I know, and the reason why they'll share that guy is because they see him as more valuable. It's just like if I said to you guys, hey, listen, here's $500 million, but I got to split it evenly between the three of y'all. You'd be like, all right, fuck it. That's a bunch of money still, right? But if I gave you $2 and said split it between the three of y'all, you're like, nah, man, I'm keeping these $2. That ain't really even a lot. That's how women see guys. Most guys are the $2. When you have game, you're the 500 million. So when you say, hey, listen, this is 500 million, you could get 100, but you're gonna have to split this with 4 more women. She's like, cool, at least I'm getting 100 million instead of the $2. And that's basically how it happens. You know what I'm saying?
So Mr. Lucario, based on like y'all experience talking to a bunch of different men and stuff over how long you been doing this anyways, like consulting or coaching guys?
Like probably at this point, like 18 years now. It's been a minute.
Damn, okay. What's the percentage of guys you think that could pull it off with like multiple women without like tricking and shit like that? Would you say? You think it's small?
At this point, it's less than 10%. You know what I'm saying? Because most guys don't. They're not gonna they don't have the they don't have the know how to do it because it's a skill. And also they don't actually have the energy to do it. So it's just a different thing, because in order to successfully deal with multiple women, you can't make it about the women. And so that's why, and this is the part that sounds messed up. And even with the title of monogamy, is that low key what happens is that when you're monogamous, not all the time, but most of the time, most guys who decide to meet a woman, get with her and stay with her, right? What he's saying subconsciously is, I'm willing to give up the things I want for her. You understand? So part of what you want is other women. So you're saying, I'm willing to give up other women for you. So either I'm willing to give up other women for you, or I'm getting with you because I don't have the option to get other women. It's one of those two. Now, earlier I heard y'all saying that, some guys think it's not about having options, and that's true. Like some guys, it's not that they don't have options, it's that they actually want to be monogamous. There's only a small percentage of dudes who really want to be monogamous, like just really want to be with one woman truly, and they're good. Most guys, they're like, I want her, but in the back of their head, they still want to smash other women. You feel what I'm saying? And so the fact that he's willing to give that up for her automatically makes him not that guy. You see what I'm saying? Because if he was that guy, you wouldn't do that. You would just say, hey, listen, you can rock with me, but I'm going to still do me. and either you're going to take it or leave it, and that's it. You feel what I'm saying? So, but most guys are like, man, I want her so bad, I'm willing to give up what I want to be with her. And that's where the, you know what I'm saying, the thing comes in with it. You see what I'm saying?
And that's what we talked about. One thing I brought up earlier was, and then what happens long term, they get with her, she starts looking real regular.
Right.
And then they're gonna find somebody who gets whatever it was they really was rocking with. They're gonna find somebody to satisfy that need to scratch that itch. That's what happens. They think you can only like, push down your nature and your desires for so long.
Right.
Until it just comes up roaring back or what have you. And then hopefully you're not in a situation where it roars back and destroys your whole world and shit. That's what I'm saying. So that's why the smart thing is to just kind of find out what is your sit back, find out what your values are, find out what your hard lines are, and then just only rock with people who rock with that.
Right.
Don't try to, and that's like I said, they be trying to bring the square chicks in there to like turn them into that. I'm like, you can't do it. I was like, it's like I said, it ain't on you, it's in you. You either they already rock like that or they don't. And it's funny. My dad said this, and this has been this was so much game he put on me when I was young. He said the quickest way to separate yourself from every other man is to start saying no to these chicks.
That's a fact.
I mean, seriously, like, I want to go to Nobu. No, I don't want to go to Nobu. I'm going to go eat Houston's. I like they ribeye steak. Let's rock right there. Oh, I want to go to this. Nah, I don't really rock with that place like that, but let's go to this, brother. Don't say no and just don't do nothing. Be like, nah, I don't really rock with that. Pull her into what you would do naturally. Be like, nah, what I would normally do is go to blah, blah, blah. I think you should come with me. That's the kind of thing. Start saying no to these chicks, and that'll separate you from every other man on the planet that's trying to get at them.
That's real shit. That is real shit right there.
Yeah, I seen like a lot of times when they be discussing this in like other spaces, it's like they damn near fixate on it, and then it's just like you were saying, Mr. Carr, it's like, man, y'all know y'all can't pull this off.
No, it's like I said, it's positioning. Just like, for example, when I got married, and I gave my wife the ring, I didn't kneel on the ground, because the thing is, again, symbolism. If I'm kneeling to you, I'm looking up to you. I'm looking up to the woman. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing that happens with a lot of guys. So, for example, when a guy meets his girl for the first time, like he's at the bar, club, whatever, like the first time he met his girlfriend, when he first met her, the guy he was that day is what she was attracted to. Then he gets with her and he changes for her, and then he wonders why she treats him like crap. Because you are no longer the guy she met. You change to fit into what she wanted. And so that's the problem with a lot of guys. They get with women and they start doing things to accommodate the woman so that they can keep her, instead of being themselves to keep her, right? And the thing is that being yourself, if you set that premise from the beginning and you only change based on you, then she respects you more, because she's like, okay, he's still that guy that I met when I first met him, being who he is, instead of now he's changed for me. And that's what most guys do in relationships, is that they end up changing for the woman. Just like I said, the decision to be monogamous is literally most guys changing what they want to do, which is have sex with other women, for that woman. You see what I'm saying? It's usually not for themselves. Now, there's some guys on the sidelines that will change for themselves, but most guys are changing for the woman. It's not really for them, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is.
All right.
What's up?
Go ahead. Somebody want to say something? Oh, okay. Hey, what's up, Crate Nation? Carolina, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
What's up?
Good to have you guys jump on the show. Good to have you guys back, Carolina. Good to have you back, Crate Nation.
What's up?
Nice to be back.
So thank you for jumping on, and always good to have the female perspective added to our show on the Thursdays where we on the Mastermind. But ladies, the topic of discussion that we're having tonight is it a man's nature to be monogamous? So there's a lot of men out there saying that they believe in their ideology that men are biologically not built to be monogamous, to be faithful to one woman. So there's no point. And there are a lot of women out there saying that all men are eventually going to cheat, because it's just a man's nature that eventually they're eventually going to step out and cheat. especially if it's a very attractive man. So, what do you, from the female perspective, what do you think about the topic? Do you believe that is it a man's nature to be monogamous? Is it possible for men to be completely faithful to their woman for the rest of their lives the moment they're in a committed relationship and marriage? Or do you believe no matter how good the man is, eventually down the line, he will cheat on you? So you might as well, as for which a lot of women do today in modern dating, a lot of women have already come to the fact and acceptance that, especially if you're dealing with a very high caliber, attractive man, that he eventually is going to cheat on you. So you might as well just understand that, accept that if you're going into that relationship, which we do see, especially when it comes to celebrity relationships, when it comes to athletes, when it comes to their dynamic of their relationship. So what do you think about that, ladies? I know you guys, we had a conversation before in the previous pod. You guys, you are looking for monogamous relationships. Do you believe in today's generation, today's dating market? Do you believe that men can truly be faithful to one woman? Or do you believe that, eventually he's gonna eventually be like every man in our nature? They're eventually gonna have a different girl on the side eventually down the line. I'll start with you, Crane Nation. What do you think?
Can you let her go first? Let Carolina go first.
Carolina had her hand up. She ready.
Carolina looked like she in a cafe in France. Got the coffee and the cigarette.
Okay, so
Panama.
Go to Carolina. Go ahead.
In Panama. So basically, I have a question. So you're saying that a man is allowed to have a lot of women according to how successful and rich he is. I want to know if this standard also applies to women, because there are women that are super rich and are married to guys that are broke. And I would assume that, since they are rich and they're the main provider, that they can also have multiple lovers. So I want to know if you think that only the men are allowed to have multiple affairs only because they're successful, or if the woman that is as successful as a man in a relationship is also allowed to have multiple lovers and have this behavior. What do you think about it?
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
All right. It's not nobody. I don't know nobody said that they're allowed to because successful, but what happened? They've established some type of value. They've established a value, whether it be because there's broke dudes out there that's not financially successful that have multiple women. It's just they've established themselves as value in some form, whether it be financially, the way they look physically, a status or what have you, or some kind of ability or what have you. That's impressive. They've established themselves to where women are accepting of the fact that they might have to share them as being part of that. Women. Yeah, if a woman is successful or establish herself as valuable, she can say, I want to have two men. There's a woman who comes on this show who's not. Let me finish the statement, Carolina. You can jump in there. There's a woman who comes on this show named Miss Polly. She has 3 boyfriends. She's in a polyamorous relationship where it's her and 3 men, and she's not successful, but she's established herself as valuable to where she has access to 3 men, and 3 men agree to share her. So yeah, it's about establishing what a value that other people find that they really need, and they're okay with sharing you with somebody else. So
I think when you answered the question yourself, low value women will accept this behavior. So if you want to have multiple low value women, you can have them. But I don't think high quality women are going to accept this.
I don't know. I don't know. I think that's subjective. What value is subjective to the person who's looking at it. One value to a value to one woman to me is a different to value. My wife's value is different to me than it is to Will. So it's just the whole value is subjective. So I think women, if they of the mind to where they don't find they don't attach what a man's dick does to how much he cares about him, loves you, will protect you, provide for you, they'll be willing to rock with it. And that'll make them low value. That just makes them open to shit.
So you said if a woman deals with a bunch of if a woman shares a guy, she's low value. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Of course.
So So if you work at a company,
self-esteem. There's a reason she sticks to this guy. It's only because he gives her money.
so if you work at a company with other women, does that make you low value?
No, like love and marriage before God is not a company.
It's the
A
same
company is a physical entity that you create to make business. So if your love and your time and like, are you valued monetarily? Like, are you business?
Yeah, but it's the same concept because you're basically sharing a situation with more than one person.
No, because I think that you're seeing relationships as something like merely transactional. Like, oh, I put money, so she has to accept that I'm cheating. But what if she has more money than you do?
No, I'm not talking about.
It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with money. It has something to do with value.
What if you Bill Gates' daughter?
What like I said, it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with money. I'm talking about money is just the easiest. Money is just a qualifier of competency.
Money makes
Money,
you be independent.
Money has nothing to do with. Like I said, there's multiple people I know. When I was younger, I dealt with multiple women, and I didn't have a lot of money, so it has nothing to do with money. Money wasn't the factor to where.
And the only reason that the women tolerate this is because they don't know any other way out. They might tell you in your face it's because they love you.
We're not talking about exclusively marriage.
The girlfriend, like, I can't deal with him anymore, but I don't know any other option.
We're not talking about exclusively with marriage. We're talking about relationships as a whole. Relationship, there's more than one type of relationship. Marriage is just one type of relationship. You know, male and female interaction. So we're talking about in a relationship. You determine what your parameters of a relationship. Society doesn't. Religion shouldn't. A tradition shouldn't. Whatever. It should be you determine. If you are a woman who feels like you want two men as in your relationship, you want to be in a polyamorous relationship, you rock. If you have enough value, these two dudes see the value in you, you do it. If you're a man who decides I want two women, and you have established yourself enough value to those two women, you rock out. You determine what your relationship is. You know, marriage, you determine what your marriage is. You determine what all your interactions is. So to say somebody is low value because they are open to sharing somebody, I think it's just it's not fair.
Let me keep it moving to Ashley and Crane Nation. Definitely appreciate the back and forth. We can definitely have that discussion, but let's pass it to Ashley. Thank you for jumping on, Ashley. Good to see you again. Good to see you. But I have a quick question to the ladies, because I just want to understand your belief system. So, ladies, Ashley, Carolina, Crane Nation, quick question before I pass it back to you guys. Do you believe I'm talking about the men that you want, the desirable men, the caliber men that you would want to be in a long-term committed relationship? I'm not talking about the undesirable men. I'm not talking about the invisible incels. I'm talking about the guys that you find attractive, that you would want to have as kids, and you would want to be in a long-term committed relationship with him. Do you believe that those caliber men, especially in today's dating generation and dating market, if you happen to come across that type of man, do you believe those types of men? Is it possible for that type of man that you want to be faithful and committed to you? Or do you believe eventually down the line, men will always fall short and mentally step out and cheat and not be monogamous? What do you believe? Go, anybody can go.
So I'll go first. Yeah, I mean, I think they can definitely be faithful to just one person. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. Yeah, not super common, I guess, in, like I said, more so this generation, but like the older generations, I feel like no matter what, people just stuck with each other and work things out. But yeah, I think, you know, if it's a healthy relationship, then they can definitely stay faithful to one person. Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Crane Nation? What do you believe?
I think it has to do with where the man's maturity level is. Like, I know everybody's heard the saying, cheating is a rich man's sport. So it's like, if a man has a lot of money, he's like known to have a lot of money, he's gonna attract a lot of women, because women want to be taken care of or whatever. But if he's disciplined and he knows, like, taking care of women is only going to leave me broke, or, you know, leave me heartbroken or get me killed. If he's comfortable enough, he'll be like, you know what, I'm not going to entertain multiple women because it's not worth the sacrifice sacrifice. Whether somebody that's immature may be like, well, I want the clout, I want all the ladies, I want options. It just all depends on the guy's maturity level.
Okay, so but you believe it is possible, probable that you're gonna find a man that's the desirable man that you want, that he's gonna be faithful and loyal to you for the rest of his life. You really believe that?
Honestly, I do, only because y'all laughing. Only because it's a maturity thing. Like, I'm not dating a guy that's interested in like every woman that walked past him, or is just like wanting attention. Like, I don't like those type of guys. I don't like attention seeking guys. So it's just the type of guys that you go after. I believe that the person that I end up with, if we get married, I believe that he will be faithful. Like,
Okay.
and if he wasn't faithful, then like that's just on him. Like, I made a mistake. He wasn't mature enough.
All right. No, fair enough. Okay. And what about you, Carolina? Do you believe that the man that you want? I know you're looking for that specific type of man. The man that you want, Carolina. Do you believe that you're gonna find that type of man that's gonna be faithful to you for the rest of your life?
I mean, he better be. I'm a lawyer. Otherwise, I'll get 50% of his assets.
Damn.
I'll find out. I'm a lie detector. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm able to forgive him. And trust me, I've cheated too, and I've been forgiven. So I think that cheating is part of a relationship sometimes. People fight, they take breaks, they come back together. You know, relationships are very complicated. But I don't think there should be a double standard that, like, because one partner is rich, one cheats and the other doesn't. Because, you know, both people cheat at the end of the day.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to know what you believe, especially when it comes to dating the type of man that you want. But I'll pass it to Ashley. Ashley, thank you for jumping on the panel. And it comes to Ukraine Nation. I haven't forgotten about Ukraine Nation. But Ashley, what's the response to the topic we're discussing tonight? A lot of men are saying that it's just our nature. It is our biological nature to reproduce, to continue the species. We're designed and wired this way to be attracted to women and to go out there and pursue women, to have multiple sexual partners. And there are the biology does prove that women want quality, men want quantity. That is a biological fact. But what's your response to that, Ashley? That men are just saying, especially the men that you find attractive, look, it's our nature to cheat. So it's something that women have to accept today in today's society, that we're, especially if you're dealing with an attractive man, that you have to accept that eventually down the line, regardless how good it is, regardless how religious it is, eventually because of our biological nature, we have a predisposition to eventually sleep with another woman. Do you accept that? Do you agree with that? Do you disagree? What do you think, Ashley?
I mean, I definitely, I think I disagree, because it might be like, I feel like being in a relationship or a marriage, like, that's a choice. So if that man is going to take that responsibility of that choice of committing to one person, then they're making that choice to be with that person and not to continue seeking other people. If they don't think they can do that, or if they have urges to go be with other people, then maybe certain people aren't meant to be in relationships, or if they're not mature enough, then they don't need to be in a serious relationship. I think everybody has temptations, and people can make a conscious choice of, okay, I'm gonna go satisfy my physical urges tonight and forget about my partner, but like, you made that choice to be with that person. So if you're making a choice, then it has to be a conscious choice, I think. So I definitely disagree that they should just, because biology says so. I mean,
can I ask Ashley? Can I ask Ashley a quick question? Ashley, do you think that people in open relationships can have a serious relationship? Open marriages, open relationships can have a serious relationship?
That's hard. I mean, I don't know too many people in open relationships. I do know a few, and for the most part, they are mature, and it seems like the relationships are pretty stable. But at the same time, I don't really know, the ins and out of how everything works with them. So I think for a time being, it could be stable, but long term, I mean, I think some people it might work. Personally, for me, that would not work for me, so it's kind of hard for me to elaborate on that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think what you're saying is just like it's the deception that ruins a relationship, not the sex. It's the deception. It's the somebody saying, I'm going to be faithful to you. I'm never going to stick my dick in another vagina. And it's you and me against the world. And then they go and do that. That's what ruins the relationship. If somebody says to you, like, I just need options. I physically want to engage with other women. Are you open to that? And the person said, yeah, I'm open to that because I might want to physically engage with other men. And we say, cool. I like, we can rock together. I think those people they have a degree of honesty that's even over and above to some some close relationships to the degree.
Yeah,
With all this, I'm in a very close relationship. I've been married for almost 18 years. So so I just understand it because I've been around it in other aspects of my life when I was in my younger days. So
yeah, I think it works for some people and some people it definitely doesn't. But if it works, then both people are on the same page, then you should go for it.
No, I think that's a good point, Dane. Like you said, if they have that communication, I think it will work out. But I think most people don't have that upfront communication. I think Mr. Lucario was hitting on that earlier too, where it's like you gotta be upfront with it. But I think Carolina was asking a question earlier where she was asking about if we would be cool.
I think that this is actually like a very personal choice because, for example, there are some guys that actually have fantasies about other men having sex with their ladies. And, at the end of the day, I think that if you want to have a relationship that involves other people and you have these fantasies, you need to talk about this like very early on in the relationship. And maybe that person might be open to trying it with you, or maybe they won't. There's a lot of men, like a growing trend of men that like watching other men have sex with their ladies too.
Yeah, let's be honest. That's not the man that you want to be with.
That tree is grown a long time ago. It's not growing.
I know where the hell she's
it's a
going
whole forest.
Let's not talk about the man that you don't want.
But Carolina, if you have money like Oprah, then you could get a boyfriend. You was asking that earlier.
No, it's weird, but there's a whole thing. I think it's called like cockload. There's like a scientific reason behind all of this. It's very funny.
Yeah.
But I've heard men like a lot of men tell me that this is their fantasy. I wish it were a joke.
No, most guys.
They like this.
No, but that's not a fantasy with most guys. Yeah, some guys, most guys just want to have sex with other women. They don't. As Diddy, he like watching Cassie. So.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's most men wouldn't want to be with a couple.
Some people are into it.
Carolina up here trying to make shit up, trying to push it objective.
All good. Thank you very much, Carolina. Watch, thank you for jumping on as a guest. Good to see you again. Watch, I'll pass it to Crane Nation. Crane Nation, same thing. What is your thoughts on the topic that women kind of have? Men are saying you just have to accept that eventually down the line, most men. I'm not saying all men. There are good men out there who want to be in committed relationships, guys who have the options, but choose because of his belief system, because of his religion, or just whatever reason he wants to commit to one woman. But saying most men would eventually just fall to our nature that they're going to step out and cheat with another woman. What's your response to that? Do you accept that reality? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? What do you think, Queen Nation?
I do not accept that reality. Like, I just think it's what you want to normalize. In this generation, people just want to normalize everything. Like once before, it was like you were an honorable man if you could just be with one woman and take care of your family and just go to work and do what you're supposed to do. And then all of a sudden, it became like normalized that you have girlfriends, multiple baby mamas, multiple women you're dealing with, multiple women you can call on. That's the cool thing. So it's I think if we want to normalize it, then women will eventually accept it because I guess it's more men on earth than it is women. I don't think, but
no.
There's more women.
Oh no! Wait, it's a drought on. It's not a drought on men. But what do women be saying? Like
No, there's more women on the planet.
Oh yeah,
Like-
more
Like
women.
2 million more.
My bad. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So, like, if it gets pressed more, then women will be more open to the whole like sister wives situation, because no woman wants to be alone, and most women desire to be a mother and have kids, and it's like most men already have children. So what are you gonna do?
No, wrong.
Okay.
No, yeah, most men will never procreate. Yeah, most men don't procreate. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Most men don't have children. Most men don't get the chance to procreate. I think only like a rough percentage, like 30% of men procreate, I think, as opposed to 99% of women or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, well, where I'm at, it's more men with babies than with women. So it's like the single girls, single ladies are out, and it's just like everybody got a baby mama, or everybody got a baby on the way, or it's a newborn, or it's something.
I feel that, Craig, but Craig, peep this, like just because, and then you're valid though for everything you're saying, but like just because it's a Popeyes down the street, don't mean it's not world hunger. You feel what I'm saying? So like that's the problem with like we gotta no, but I'm just saying like we have our own experiences for sure, but that don't shape the
representation of the real world.
Yeah, we don't get an accurate representation of the real world. But I definitely feel you saying for sure, and that's something we all gotta learn. Like I learned it, you know what I'm saying? Like when we had these kind of combos, like we gotta separate ourselves from like what our personal like experiences or our backyard looks like, because the real picture is so crazy, you know what I'm saying? So, but no, I definitely respect what you're saying.
Yeah, because there's different types of guys. So you have guys you have the one guy who's getting multiple women pregnant, you know what I'm saying? And then the other guys who ain't getting no sex at all. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just how
Somebody getting like, I don't believe that ain't no dude not getting nothing.
No,
Craig, I
don't believe that.
Craig, what?
That's that you're incels. They call incels.
I'm trying to think how. I bet you every nigga I ran into, maybe I didn't really go outside today, but like probably like 2 of them niggas. I probably ran into like, let's say I ran into 10 people, probably maybe 1 or 2 of them had sex in the last 30 days. That's because the stat is that men under or over 30 is like, most of them is like, wait, men 18 to 30 haven't had sex or virgins in like 30 days, shit like that. So like, yeah, it's most men aren't getting sex. It blew my mind away too. I never thought about this shit. That's why like I don't really like. I know the whole red pill, all this wakening shit get a lot of gets a lot of backlash. But one thing that it for sure did that's positive, it awakened people to like statistics and like and like the reality. Because when I heard that, I was like, what? I never even thought about that shit. Like, damn, but like the dude at the CVS who helping you out, you know what I'm saying, or pushing the carts and
Let me pass it back. Let's open up to the panel real quick so we had a chance. Ladies, thank you for jumping on again. Thank you for your open perspective and statements. We have a good discussion tonight. I see a lot of new faces on the live chat. April Mack, Ram Dumum from Ontario. Hopefully I got that right. I see a lot of new faces. Thank you for jumping on. Don't forget, this is a public virtual stream, so if you do want to jump on, the link is in the description on YouTube. We do have some room on the panel if you want to jump on and add on to our conversation. But thank you for your response to the ladies. I want to just pass it back to the open panel. Fellas, Dirk, Lucario, Damon, did you want to respond to anything they said?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, what Watch is saying is true. What happens is think about like so what happens is women will hook up with guys or date guys or be very attracted to a certain type of guy, and so they're experiencing that guy and think most guys are like him. But most guys are the opposite of him. So like you might like that guy you met at the club that you thought was really hot and you slept with him on that first night or that first week. You're thinking most guys are like him, but most guys are not getting any. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reality most of the time. You see what I'm saying?
Most guys are the guys you see at Walmart. That's most guys.
Fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Yo, that's that really.
Okay, what about the guys I see at the gym?
They ain't getting either.
Some of them ain't getting either.
Most niggas you see, you can just ask, like, have fun with it. Just ask them, be like, It's like, when's the last time you had sex? No.
What the fuck are they doing?
Eggs, no.
You fucking.
And when the last time they got to express themselves? I'm good.
No,
on
not
that.
even fuck. Wait. Fuck sex. Just be like, when's the last time a woman touched your?
Right.
I'm being dead serious. I'm being dead serious. Listen, I have a theory, right? I think that they're trying to. I think that society is trying to radicalize like these young men and shit like that because like you're depriving them of sex, but at the same time you're showing them hella sex on all these feeds and shit. These motherfuckers are gonna go insane, bro. We got a big civil discourse or disruption about to happen, and motherfuckers sound crazy, but like you got the motherfuckers who run the infrastructure sexually deprived, touch deprived from women. What the fuck you think is gonna happen?
You know, I think it's not only the men that are not getting it, but the women are not getting it either. I think that for some reason, women or men, like we're fighting each other, and instead of making love, we're making war.
Women aren't getting it by choice. It's a choice to women to not have sex.
Right.
Well, you know,
Y'all
for free. A man can have sex for pay.
For example,
yeah,
I decided to like stop dating, and if a guy doesn't like at least do something that I consider like valuable, like taking me to dinner or something, but like most guys like nowadays, I think because of dating apps, they make like zero effort, and they're just like, can you come to my house for Netflix and chill?
Whose fault is that?
Or they invite themselves to your own house.
It's a
and I'm just like, I don't even know you.
Whose fault is that? The barrier of entrance when it comes to sex has been lowered
like,
to the ground.
That's a guy that knows his value.
I think that since pandemic, like dating changed a lot. We used to socialize outside a lot more. So like you can't blame people for trying to go into dating apps to meet other people.
But really dating apps, only maybe like 20% of men are getting laid off dating
trying
apps.
to date, that's
And 80% of women are.
Like that makes them want to date even less. For me, I don't have a problem with like meeting strangers because it's part of my job as a lawyer. I meet murderers. That's fine. I'll be fine with a Bumble date at a coffee shop. He won't kill me. But I do think it's important that other people get out there and try to meet people and stop being like ashamed, because that's how we are creating this incel culture where men are like scared to approach women and women are scared to be like complimented by men.
I had this on my show once. Like, I don't believe in the term incel. I think that term does not exist. I don't think there's no such thing as involuntary celibate. If you are not having sex as a man, that's because you are volunteering yourself not to have sex. You can pay for pussy.
Women are the real incels. If
you can pay for you can, but what you call it? Because men just want it for free. Men want connection. Some men still want that connection. They want somebody to give a shit about it. They want somebody to bring them soup when they all the stuff that they don't think they think this is about sex. No, it's about soup. It ain't about sex.
Yo,
that's true though. That's true.
Can I ask the three ladies a question real quick?
Hell no.
If you're dating a guy, right? Would you, and answer honestly, would you have sex with him first or cook him a home meal first?
Cook. For sure, cook.
Look, Craig, gotta think about it.
I mean, I'm gonna trust you, Ashley. You know, we haven't met yet, but that
younger Ashley would probably just never cook for anybody
and have sex first, right? And that's what a lot of women are doing. Do you understand how insane that is?
But now,
women are giving up their bodies. Women are getting, because of feminism. Women are more.
You didn't give them a chance to answer. Watch, you gotta let them answer.
I know. Watch, you know, messed the question, line of questioning up.
I think the correct answer would have been that's the correct answer.
That's my fault.
So Ashley said cook.
You gotta train me. I'm not.
Ashley said cook.
Of course, most likely, like sex is gonna happen first.
Okay.
Because it's like at the second, third date. But you're not gonna like. I think a first date at a home, it's just weird.
Okay.
Like it's dangerous. Like that's what I think that meeting like someone in an apartment, for example, like it's dangerous Like if you're gonna have like a first date with a stranger, I always like advise people to go to like public places where they feel safe, most likely a restaurant.
Regardless of if you're cooking or having sex, it's gonna be probably in the same place, or I hope not public.
Somebody else.
And you got yourself food, and you had a good date, and you decide to proceed to the apartment. Over there, you might decide to cook him something and then have sex with him. Who knows? But it's better to meet at a public place.
All right. Craig, you fucking or feeding? You fucking or feeding?
Well, my perspective is the guy is either going to take me out or he's going to cook for me, and then we'll probably sleep together, and then I'll cook for him in that order. Because I'm not coming to your house if you ain't spending no money on me or cook me out, or like you cooking when I come over there. Like, I'm not just coming over your crib. I don't believe in that. Like, some money been transacted.
You don't gotta wait. You don't gotta be at your house.
Some money. Like, I know how to cook.
That's
I can do very well. Like, I don't want you in my house doing this business on the first date. Like,
you could just.
I'm hearing a whole lot of resistance. That's cap. But they're telling the truth. But they're basically talking about guys they don't like that. Like all of that is guys you don't.
Nah, even if I like you, because you're not gonna.
Well, yeah,
Lakaria,
no. Even dudes they like.
Nope, they don't like them. I'm telling you, women
I can
will
like
do.
You and still have and still make. You
No. Okay, my bad. Let me rephrase that. They do that to guys they're not sexually attracted to. If you're really sexually attracted to him, you're gonna do whatever you say. That's
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Burn up the bridge. Go to jail. I did for none.
The programming is too thick, bro. I'm telling you.
Carolina said she'll do prison time.
These women will let you have sex with them and do the nasty shit before they make you a meal. I saw that meme typed out. That shit blew me. I'm like, this is some sick shit out here. We were fucked.
This is a better way of question to ask it. If you don't, the ladies. So, have you guys ever? I know, ladies, you guys have your boundaries and your standards, right? I do understand as women you have that. But in the past, have you ever been with a man that was very attractive that you just threw away your standards because he was that attractive?
Oh, yes. I even landed into jail and stuff. Like, it was very bad. He was a dangerous guy. Like, mama, I'm in love with a criminal.
Okay.
Okay,
so Caroline said yes. Okay, what about you, Ashley and Quay Nation? Was there a guy? I know you have standards, but there's a guy that was very attractive. You threw away your standards just for that guy, and then you learned. What do you? Is that true?
I think when I was younger, yeah. But it wasn't as crazy as hers.
Oh, okay. So Ashley, when you were younger, you did that. What about you, Quay Nation?
Yeah, that was probably like early 20s, like when I was when I thought that hot girl, city girl, like, oh, he cute, he got pretty eyes, he got good hair. That whole thing was going on, but like, yeah, nah, like younger Rito,
yeah. Huh? So that's what Mr. Lakaria is talking about.
Yeah, she got to be highly interested. If she ain't highly interested, don't deal with it.
Not at 28. Like, yeah.
No, it's still now. I'm telling you. You got you say.
No, it's not because cute don't pay no bills.
No, I'm not talking about cute. I'm talking about.
I love women, but that shit is foul. Like y'all are really like y'all will meet some hot dude when y'all young. He got an egg roll and 4 wings and a blunt, and y'all gonna let him rock. And you know what I'm saying? And that be the dude you smoking on the bed, y'all chilling in the cut, you know what I'm saying?
That's when they had a baby by.
Yeah, and then y'all get older, it's like, no, I would like dinner now. And
right.
I have, and you know,
you're supposed to grow. You're supposed to change. You're supposed to evolve.
How convenient.
Hell no.
You're not gonna change. That's how.
No, that's a man standard. What about y'all?
So let's flip the logic. Wait.
But see, Will, real quick, Will. That's why I always say, don't ever be the man that takes the worst deal. You hell no. I would Lakaria. They ain't changing.
And to be fair, men do the same thing, ladies.
They do.
When they come across a hot chick they've never been with before, that's the first one. They're not used to very attractive women.
Or they spend money for the first time.
They'll simp for the women.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's simping. Yeah, definitely simps to do that type of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I say dudes will simp for any woman for the most part. But what I was gonna say,
guys with no options, they tend to simp.
Which is most guys. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so Shot of Breezy, I see you in the live chat. I appreciate you. Hey, good to see you. I haven't seen you before, so thank you for jumping on. I had a question, but I wanted to ask Mr. Lacaro if you could phrase it for me. But a lot of women want to be in monogamous relationships, but they find themselves in situations, especially in today's dating market, it's really, really hard to find not only the man they want, but also a man that's monogamous and faithful. Lacaro has a very interesting perspective. He says that if you come across a man that you really want, Ashley, Carolina, Crane Nation, the reason why a lot of times when it comes to cheating, a lot of women get upset is because of deception. But he said that if the man was just upfront, that he's going to be with you, you're going to be the main girl. You're the one that's going to carry his babies. He's the one that's going to primarily financially take care of. But he's also still going to be sleeping with other women. He's upfront with this. There is no deception. Would you take that deal? And I'm talking about the man that you want, has all the qualities that you want, extremely attractive, but he's not deceiving you. He respects you to the point where he's going to be upfront with you. Look, I'm going to be totally honest with you. This is how this relationship is going to work. I'm going to see other women, but you're going to be the primary person I'm going to financially take care of and be my wife and be raising my children. You're going to be raising my kids. Would you take that deal?
Hell no.
If the check is right and
I knew
and like if he don't bring no other kids outside of my kids, so we ain't worried about no child support, and I get to continue to live the life that I was living, and ain't no it's not coming to my front door, and you told me up front, you gave me an option, I could walk away, or
it's your choice. It's your choice.
I mean, if I really love him and he's doing what he's supposed to do, I'm gonna stay and just deal with it because he told me the truth. I could have walked away, so I'm just have to swallow that pill and spend his money. I don't know. Take a vacation.
That's why, man.
Okay, wait, can't we Carolina?
My mom did it, so I don't have to do it. That's why I'm rich.
This is the man of your dreams.
So you tell me that I have the 4-bedroom apartment and I bring this dude in and he's gonna cheat on me unless he gives me an apartment that's 8 bedroom. I'm gonna let him cheat.
Yes,
so
you will.
I'm gonna there comes a point, and we do have to talk about dating for women that have money. I'm not maybe that successful. I inherited this money, whatever, but I have it. Okay, so I am bringing something to the table. I'm not going to allow for him to cheat if he ain't doing shit. And trust me, I've been the side chick, and there is no loyalty to the main wife. This woman gets disrespected and fried all day long. All she is just a farce for society. So I'd rather be alone and keep on having fun and being the side chick and enjoying life. Because I'd rather be out having margaritas and wearing a thong than be the woman at the house with 4 kids crying and going to the psychiatrist and whining because nobody's paying attention to them and the kids won't let them live their fucking life. It's very hard raising kids. It's not only paying money and child support.
But they said
she painted a hell of a picture, didn't she?
Most likely women are antidepressants.
She says Xanax and all.
The women are having a very hard time. It's not only about paying child support. You have to watch the children, monitor them, see how they are developing, or how their learning abilities are developing. And stepping up and being a parent is not only putting a check. So if a man is going to have this attitude, I might as well have kids on my own. Not everything is money or transactional. That's what I'm trying to imply.
Cray, it's
maybe women will accept this so they can feel comfortable. But once a woman is comfortable, she's not going to accept this.
Cray, it's as long as the checks is fat, I ain't tripping off what his dick doing.
Some people have a value and you can buy them. Other people don't have a price.
But see, that's what I was saying.
Nobody wants to be alone. Nobody
is high enough.
I'm not alone. I have a lot of friends. I'm very famous. I I have family. I have an OnlyFans chick living with me, so I get the best of both lives. She cooks for me. She very hot. She
Broke
top
man.
earner. I'm not alone. I'm actually
I
like
heard that
raising
I'm a
a
rich
kid that
man
is not
chick,
even mine.
So that's your girlfriend?
A lawyer, you famous, you smoking out of apples. You doing
Don't tell me two men can come together and raise a kid. And I'm not a lesbo. I don't like women.
a
But
lezo.
at this point, I'm starting to believe that men are actually kind of useless.
But see what Craig is saying is on
Oh,
point.
she's scarred.
And
Who hurt you?
I'm gonna say this, and I got to run, and I appreciate y'all having me on here. But this is the thing: the reason why a lot of times women will take a man back when he cheats is because all the other things she benefits from him is hard for her to find. So she's like, well, I don't want to throw him away just because he had sex, because he's providing this, that, and that, and that. And in order for me to find that with another man is going to be difficult. So I always say that, for most guys, getting sex is hard. But what's harder than guys getting sex is a woman getting a guy to give a shit about her. So if you have a guy who cares about you and who really likes you and loves you, that is valuable, because most guys you run across are not going to care about you. You see what I'm saying? They just are looking at what's between your legs. So if you have a guy who cares, that's why women will stay with the guy even though he cheated. But this is the messed up part about it. Women will think he doesn't care because he cheated. The only issue was that he wasn't man enough or knew himself enough to understand that's what he wanted to do. So he could have told you that from the beginning and said, hey, listen, I love you, but I'm going to do these things. The issue with cheating, and this is where stuff gets messed up, is when your man cheats, there's a level of trust that is broken. So then therefore, even though the woman stays, she still loses a little bit of respect for him because he cheated. Always look at it like a glass. If the glass breaks, you can tape the glass up, but it's still going to have cracks in it. That crack is the cheating. But if you would have just had the glass and said, hey, this glass is our relationship, and our relationship is we're together, but from time to time, I might do something on the side, that glass stays intact. So that's why I always tell guys, just be honest so that you don't have that glass cracked, so that your woman can still respect you, even though you're able to do what you do and you keep everything intact. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I try to get guys to make it a little bit easier on them, but also the women, so that they can actually choose. Like Craig was saying, hey, listen, if I know this is happening, I'm a make my choice whether I'm gonna do it or not, versus him saying I'm gonna just be with you and do it behind her back. That's the part that's messed up. You see what I'm saying? But y'all, I appreciate y'all having me, man. I gotta head out, man. I'm out.
Pull back up, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Lucario.
Have a good night. Yes, sir.
All right, take it easy, man.
All right, thank you so much. Hey, I had a topic. I had a good topic I wanted to bring up to the conversation. First, when I ask the ladies, when you go in a relationship with the man that you want, do you want to be loved by your man?
That's the only thing I want.
Of course, and accepted.
Okay. All right. So Craig said yes. Carolina said yes. Ashley said yes. Like you want love, right? You want love from your man, right?
Of course.
Yes, and that's the thing, that if you like, I feel that we are in a place where everybody is so obsessed with sex and sex and sex and sex that everybody's forgotten about like love, romance. People are obsessed with money, sex, fame, that they forget all this stuff. They are giving like zero importance to what is like actually valuable, like money, family, good relationships. And it's very sad. And I think that at the end of the day, that is what is making both men and women more low valuable in general. Everybody is more low valuable.
All right. And this is a question. This is a question for the entire panel. It's when yes or no. I'll start with the fellas and I'll come to the ladies, because it is related to the topic we're discussing, and it's something that I see that's constantly talked about online between men and women. But let me start with the fellas. Fellas, so the ladies all confirmed that they want to be loved by the man that they want to be with, their ideal, desirable man. But let me start with the fellas. Fellas, is it possible, and there is science out there that shows this, but to the fellas, is it possible for a man to cheat and still love his woman the same way? It does not affect his ability to love her. Yes or no? Jerk.
I would say yes.
Okay. Damien? Oh, I think you were mute. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Watch?
I say yeah.
Yes. Okay. Let me ask the ladies. Ladies, do you guys believe that is it possible for a man to cheat on you but still love you the same way? Ashley.
In my line of work, being a criminal lawyer, it's all about trust. Like if a client murders someone, I want to know. So if my partner is cheating on me and he's doing things behind my back, he's not trustworthy. I'm not gonna ride with him.
So
He's
yeah,
not loyal. Hoes ain't
answer is no.
loyal. Like hoes ain't loyal. So if he's cheating on me, he's not being loyal to me. So
Well, the question was not about loyalty, it's just love. Do you believe that
no,
he can still love
because
you?
if you love someone, you're loyal to them.
Okay, fair enough. Not fair
And
enough.
if you have multiple women, let's say you cheat with 40 women, maybe 30, 37, you will only want to have sex with them. But at one point, you will come across one of these ladies that they will fuck up your mind. You know what they do, for example, like prostitutes? They know that men are very weak, like you say, because that's being weak, and they team up lesbians and they suck up the men's money because the men are so dumb that they're like, oh, she loves me. You have no idea how many of these ladies from the night end up ruining marriages, scamming lives, and all of these things just because men can't like control themselves. It's very sad.
Okay. All right. So
Carolina, who hurt you? Damn.
Nobody. But I'm a lawyer. I represent a lot of ladies. If you heard the testimonies of my clients, you would be very upset. They are
Craig,
very hurt.
What about you, Craig?
Yeah,
Think it's possible to men to love you?
Yeah, can a man cheat on you but still love you the same way? Do you agree? Yes or no?
Yes, he definitely can still love you because men cheat for dumb reasons. And I don't think a man having sex means he loves another woman. I just think whoever the man spends his money on and who has his time wrapped up is the one that he loves the most. Like if he just sleeping with you from time to time, like that's not love. That's just something to do. So I think he could definitely still love his woman and cheat. Now, if he brings her home, that's different. Or he don't love her.
Same. I just want to say, add something to that. See, the responses given when they're like on the no, and I guess it's directed to Carolina and Ashley, is he may not be able to love you the way you want to be loved, but he can still love you the way he loves you, the way he loves you. I think that's what women get thinking of. Like you're thinking, the question was, can he still love you? Not can he love me the way I need to be loved, which is fidelity is a part of the way I need to be loved. He can love you with all his whole, want to protect you, provide for you, see a future with you, want to have kids with you, value who you are, and have had sex with somebody else in his mind. But the difference is he'll never be able to love you the way you need to be loved for you to feel fulfilled and satisfied, happy in that relationship. I think that's the difference.
Right. I think
that's why I said my mom did it, so I don't have to do it. She was not happy. Yeah. She was not happy. You're not happy when your husband goes out and you don't know with who he's sleeping, when he's coming back, and he's controlling you. It's not that he only sleeps with other women. That's just one step. He also is going to go out, party, get drunk, and do whatever he wants because he's the provider, and you have to deal with it, whether you like it or not. So it's not only about the sex part,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like people think that it will make you happy because you're being provided, but I just think it's easier to get a job.
Okay. Go ahead, Ashley. You were going to go.
I know Ashley wants to say something. Go ahead, Ashley.
Yeah, just going back to what Damien said, like a man could cheat and still love you the way he thinks or he loves you. But for me, love and respect go hand in hand. And if you value me and respect me, then you wouldn't do that. And if you do, then obviously our values aren't aligned. And so I think that's kind of where I don't think it's okay.
Now, I do agree with you how you guys are kind of looking at it, though, because, like I said, it's like you should always be upfront. So that's one thing I did agree, like we were talking about earlier. I don't think once you make that commitment, whatever that looks like, you can't cross the boundary. So
like you expect me to stay home taking care of the kids while you're out there banging other chicks?
Well, I feel like this. I feel like this with infidelity.
That's not an equal relationship.
One of the things I think a man's duty is to provide security for his family and his woman. And security is in many things, not just like, physically, I'm strong enough to protect you, or I make enough money to put you in a good neighborhood to where you, don't have to worry about people breaking in your house. But it's also, emotional security as well, where you need to know that you're not in fear of somebody taking your position, that losing the things that you have. Like you feel like you are integral in a part of the success of this relationship. So I think when men cheat on women, they take away that security of their position. And women, when they feel insecure about their position, their behavior starts to change. They don't do as much. They don't invest in much. They start to pull back some of the things that you get. And that's one of the reasons why, the last time I was I cheated on somebody, I was 24. I cheated on my girlfriend. She found out when I was 25, and it went crazy. And I made a pledge. I don't care what the situation is, I'll never be unfaithful again. And I've been able to stick to that. And one of the things that's one of the reasons that my past with how bad the infidelity went. But it's just simple fact that one of my core values is providing security for my family. It's like, and I don't want to, because I know that as long as I do that, I'll get 100% of what she has to give to a husband. Because right now, my wife is crushing the wife shit. And I know if I was being unfaithful, I would lose some of that. And I was like, why? And I'm a platinum package dude. I'm not a silver gold package. I don't want the silver package of what a wife would do. I want all the shit that I'm getting now, no hesitation, and her feeling like she wants to do these things, not as her duty to do these things. And I think when you take away the security, you take away the enthusiasm of your wife doing shit for you.
Yeah.
But
I don't have any doubt that there are ladies that, for example, they are bi, they might enjoy a threesome, they might enjoy going to the street club. There is a type for everybody. You just have to find the right type of person for you. You just can't force someone into a situation just because, like, oh, I'm gonna provide for you. That's what I think.
But like provision.
Jerk, wanted to say something. Go ahead, Jerk.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, piggybacking off of what Dame and even what Carolina was talking about. That's what I think, like, especially for men, it's like, man, you don't come off that market unless you find that person that, like we were kind of talking about earlier, man, that has that value where you're just like, everything else looks like a risk. They hitting all those, like Dame said, man, that's that platinum package where I'm not even going to entertain anything. I'm not going to put myself in certain situations. So, like, I think a lot of people do, and I think Lucario was talking about it. They'll just get with somebody because, they might be desperate at that point. They get with them somebody will get with somebody out of necessity. And then that's when people start conforming versus like, nah, you find that right person. And once you do that, then I think it makes it a little easier to, stay committed and stuff. But yeah, too many people just jump in with anybody and want to conform or change that person. And that's where, or they get in a relationship with infatuation or lust. And that's when, eventually that shit wears thin and then you're left with the after effects. And that's typically when people start cheating and doing all that stuff.
Thank you so much, Jerk. I had a question for the ladies. So Carolina, Ashley, and Cray Nation, is it your experience when you date that typically the more attractive the guy, the more sexually attractive the guy to women, usually those types of guys tend to be not as faithful. They tend to be flirtatious. They tend to be open to talking to other women. In your experience, do you believe it's hard to find a guy that you find very attractive, but it's hard to find a guy lonely like that, but also find a guy like that wants to be monogamous, that wants to be faithful to one woman? Is that true? Or yes or no?
I've only had like 2 boyfriends, and they were like the total opposites, one from the other. One was like super hot, surfer, popular, and he was a douchebag. He had 6 girlfriends. He didn't go to college. He smoked pot every day. He asked my mom to buy us an apartment, got me in jail. I found out he got a hooker pregnant. It was a disaster. Yeah. So I like stopped dating for like 5 years and was like, what the fuck? And did therapy to understand why I like landed so low. Then I dated my ex, like we almost got married, and everybody would ask me, like, why are you dating him? He's so ugly. Like he looks like Batman or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, his pockets are very deep and he makes me feel safe and he makes me feel happy. Like I didn't care that he was like not like conventionally attractive, because for me, coming from someone that was attractive but was a total asshole, I was just happy feeling safe with someone that was not like as attractive. And you know, we had like a very nice relationship. We would go like one whole week on a trip and we wouldn't talk to anyone. And we would be very happy. And if I had to choose between a hot man or like a not so hot man, I would much rather go for like the not so hot man, because they usually have better personalities.
Oh yeah, okay. So okay. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that, Carolina. Ashley, what do you in your experience when you tend to come across guys that tend to be, you know, very attractive, do those guys tend to be more flirtatious and be more willing to be entertaining other women? They don't seem to have the commitment to be the values to be committed to one woman. Is that your experience? What you see?
Yeah, I think for the most part, yeah, especially in the Bay Area at least.
Yeah.
Not all guys, of course, but the majority that are, yeah, they have like a six pack and great hair and whatever. I feel like they've been used to getting attention for so long that their ego's kind of inflated, so they're kind of expecting people to flirt with them, and then it usually does happen, and they kind of have this mentality that they can just get whatever they want, which is fine. I mean, if they're not trying to like settle down, cool, but yeah, I think a lot of people kind of depend on their looks to kind of, instead of personality, like that is their personality, like I'm the hot one, versus like actually having a personality. So definitely not all guys, but there are, I would say, the majority. Yeah.
Yeah, majority. Okay. All right, fair enough. Thank you so much, Ashley. And Crate Nation, what is your experience when you come across guys who are very attractive? Do they tend to be very you know, flirtatious and very open to being with multiple women instead of being monogamous and committed to one woman? Is that your experience?
Yeah, like I think anybody, male or female, attractive people in general just move like they have a different outlook on life, so they definitely use their looks to get what they want, and people like attractive people. The most attractive guys, if they're not mature, they definitely got multiple girlfriends or something. There's always somebody in the bushes. Like they're never not dealing with something.
Yeah, especially with social media. I agree.
Somebody's in the bushes.
All right. So here's a question I want to ask the women. When do because I do understand, because you know we live in a very hypersexualized dating culture. Everything's about sex. Everything's about looks. And that's what I see that's promoted on social media. But this is a genuine question for the ladies, Crane Nation, Ashley, and Carolina. Can we all agree on, and also Damien and Jerk, can we all agree, a man that chooses to be monogamous to his woman and be committed to her, to the children, he takes that as his responsibility and duty. We all agree that that type of man usually has very strong character and morals, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question I want to ask the ladies, if we have an understanding that, you know, especially in today's age of social media, with the content that we see online, with the culture that's pushing men and women to go out there and not be committed to one relationship in hookup culture, if we understand that usually the more attractive the person, especially the man, there's a high probability he might be stepping out or entertaining multiple women. So if you want to find a guy that's monogamous, do you guys understand that maybe when you date, the focus should be more on his morals and character? Is that something that you guys have come to terms with? You know what, I'm done with just dating all these hot guys who are not going to commit to me. I just want a guy that wants to respect me, love me, be committed to me, and I'm okay with just being with the normal guy, the everyday guy that I come across, and I'm willing to give him a genuine chance, and I'll be open to be faithful and committed to him and genuinely desire to him. Is that something that you have come to terms with? Because that's the criticism. What I hear online, a lot of men are saying that the guys who want to be monogamous, who typically the average guy, most women don't want to date him. They only want to go with the guy that's very attractive, even though that guy is not monogamous to her and doesn't respect her, doesn't mistreats her in the relationship. But what the guys are saying, like, when sometimes women would say, we're all the good men, we're all the faithful men. The men are there, but they're not. You guys are not giving them their time of day because you guys are generally pursuing the guys who are very attractive. What is your response to that, Carolina and Ashley?
I think it actually goes both ways because I used to participate in this problem. I dated guys because they were hot or they were rich. But now I'm almost 33. I'm a criminal lawyer. I have a career, and if I come across a guy, it doesn't matter how rich he is. It doesn't matter how hot he is. If he can't have a conversation with me, then I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean? So the problem with people is that they think too much about sex. My last relationship was successful because we were both successful lawyers. So we both wanted the same things and we were very happy. For example, we would finish our day and we would watch true crime documentaries and I would admire his job, he would admire my job, and like we would go to sleep and we would have fun, but we admired what each other do. The problem right now is that we have people that only look for relationships that look nice on Instagram. I didn't like my ex because he had money. He had a lot of money though. I didn't like him for those reasons. I liked him because we were compatible as people. That's why we could go on an island for a whole week and like be happy. We have enough conversation and enough fun with each other, so we didn't have to go out and go to a bar and talk to other people and make problems.
Okay.
Think about it.
All right. Thank you, Carolina. What about you, Ashley?
Sorry, what was the question again?
No. My question is like, do women that's the criticism a lot of guys are saying is women don't prioritize moral character and values anymore. They prioritize how attractive it is or how much money he makes. But the problem with that is, that's why you want to base off your judgment of judging that man, then you're going to come across guys with low value, low moral and value and character. So if you guys all want a man that's faithful and committed and, treat you right, then you should focus more on his character and his moral values. Is that something that you guys are? I mean, I'm just asking you guys genuinely. When you date guys, is that like when it comes to character and morality and his values, is that something that's more you prioritize a lot more? I'm not saying you're gonna go with a guy that's ugly. I'm not saying you choose a guy that's absolutely ugly as hell. I'm just saying is when you come across an average guy, like he's not hot, but he's not ugly. He's just average. But for you at this point, because you want a monogamous relationship, and we are in a generation where a lot of people are not in committed relationships. If that's your outcome that you want, when you guys are dating at this point of time in your life, is your focus just generally on the man's character and his values? What is he doing? Is he looking for long term? Does he have a job? Is he the type of man that I can make my husband? Is that generally your thought process when you're dating with men, or it still has to be, it doesn't matter how good he is, he has to be my type? But that's criticism that the men are saying is, we call it the average guy that would give you that relationship you want. Most women won't take that guy. So that's what. So what's the response to that, Ashley?
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, definitely it's more important personality and their values. But yeah, I see the culture here is like you want to have the hottest person and look great for Instagram, and but if you're really looking for something serious, of course you have to be physically attracted. I think that some people have a type and you have to be physically attracted as well, but it's not only that, because then you're going to overlook a lot of bad qualities that you, if someone who wasn't as attractive had, there's no way you'd be with them. So I think definitely prioritizing their personality and their values and morals first is important. But yeah, I mean, it can be hard, especially in this day and age. Everyone wants to look good and put your best foot forward. So it's gonna, sometimes people get lost in that. But yeah, I think definitely prioritizing their personality and morals is more important for me, at least.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ashley. And then what about you, Queen Nation?
Yeah, I definitely prioritize your morals, your value, your character. How do you treat other women? What's your relationship with your mom? Like, I definitely put that first because I feel like as a woman, you can grow to love a man. So like, he may not be everything at the beginning, but if he's kind, he's sweet, he has character development.
This is all cap.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm not getting with no
Girl
fine.
that love him.
Yeah,
Hood rat. He hates his mom. He cusses his mom. I'm like, no, because I ain't got nothing coming. So I kind of need you to have some type of standard value with your life. If I think you're going to treat me like something, like I can't get with somebody attractive and think that because they're attractive, they're going to treat me good. Like, it's a belief system. It's how they value themselves. How do they view themselves and view other women, like their mother or sister or women in general? Because men be like secretly hating their moms and they be taking it out on women because they like.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's important to be attractive, but if you think about it, love is not really, like, at the end of the day, just related to being physically attractive. Because once you grow older, you're not that attractive, and you're not gonna let go of your husband or your girlfriend just because they're not that attractive. Like, being attractive is important, but I agree with what you just said, that you learn to grow to love a person not just because of their looks, but how they treat you, how they are with you, how they value you. Like, there is a chance to fall more in love every day with a person.
Okay.
Yeah, women think like that. That's not, men don't think like that. Men think.
Damon Jerk, you guys. I know you guys want to respond.
Yeah, women think like that. Men don't think like we have to be physically attracted to you just to even get to that point. All that other shit. We can't be sitting up there, but like, oh my God, she looks like Mike Tyson, but she's just, I don't know, something about her. I'm gonna get her. Women can do that. Women can say the man is unattractive. Hold on, let me finish before you interrupt. Men, they have to have that initial physical attraction to even get to the point where there can be any kind of emotional connection. Women, they talking to a guy and finding out stuff, and the person really shows interest in stuff, who they are, what have you. Then a physical attraction can develop because you start to like the way they make you feel. Men like the way women look. Men like the way men like the way women look. Women like the way men make them feel. So I think, yeah, the attraction has to always be there from physical for the man. There's no growing shit. And if the men are telling you that, that's bullshit.
I was just gonna say, I think men are more willing to settle. Like I said, you can't drop too low, because I agree with Dame. There's got to be some level of attraction, but I think we're more willing to depart from our preferences. And I think women will get with a guy, based on like, he might not be attractive, but for some reason, man, when y'all just have like that settling, when you settle for somebody, it's like I said, it's toxic to your body, where it's almost like you charge that guy. Like, he's got to be doing the most extreme stuff, trips, vacations. He better be like breaking bread. And once he stops, y'all getting him up out of there. There's always going to be a little bit of disrespect that comes. So that's what I'm saying. Women, they take settling so hard, where guys will be like, you know what, if it's a good enough, we'll treat that person still good. But I'm telling you, with women, that little resentment and that where they feel like they're settling, he missteps one time, he's out of there.
Women, like men, we're quicker to level set. We're quicker when as time goes by to realize what we actually can get. Like, I ain't getting no Halle Berry, I know I ain't getting that. That's aspirational. It'd be great to have a woman that looked like that, but I realize that woman ain't even in my sphere of influence. I can't even like have no access to women that attractive. Because society lets you know you don't get women like that look like that. Women, it's the exact opposite. Women, society deludes you, be like, oh man, you can get Ryan Gosling. You know, you can get the Michael B. Jordans or whatever like that. You know, you should be able to get that. And if you can't get that, something wrong with him. You know, they get fed a lot of bullshit to make you think like. So it's harder when they are when they get brought down back to where the level where they can actually get the man, is the man they can get, and it's just like they feel like they're settling as far as instead of level setting to where you actually are. Because it's up here they're thinking, oh my God, I want this super hot, attractive, rich, in shape guy, but I'm selling for this guy who's not that great, in okay shape, and makes okay money. I'm selling. No, that's where you were all the world. That's where you lived. That was the floor you were on. You know, all this other shit was just fantasy, and people didn't bring you back to reality soon enough. Men, we get brought back to reality like right away. Like, yo, ugly ass ain't getting that woman.
I do got a question for Carolina though, because I wanted to ask her what happened with that lawyer, because it sounded like that was a good match. But
I think she's off. She's off doing something.
Okay.
No, I had a question. I think Ashley has a connection issue. She'll jump on real soon. Hey, Craig, I wanted to ask if you. This is a question I wanted to ask the entire panel. But have you ever been across a man in the past that had strong moral character, integrity, value system, but he may not be the ideal man that you find attractive, and you let it go. But now at this point of your life, you look at him where he's at now, like he's actually living the life and the outcomes of the things that you would want as far as a relationship and marriage and family, and you're and be like, man, that's something I missed out on. That's a guy that I should have had the opportunity, should have been with him, but I missed on that. Has that ever happened?
No, because I feel like, I don't feel like, but I believe what's for me is for me, and I don't think I would mishandle my blessings. Like I don't think that I would. I'm not shallow, so I believe that you should give everybody an opportunity, because you never know what that person could bring into your life. You never know what doors they can open for you. So for me, I don't think I've ever missed out on a guy. Like he could have. I don't mind saying a guy was a good guy, but he'll be a better guy for another woman. He's not a good guy for me. Like he's good for somebody else. He's just not good for me, and I'm okay with it. I don't have no think nobody in the past is doing anything extravagant where I'm like, dang, I wish I would have stuck it out with that one. No. That's just my experience though.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Craig. What about you, Ashley? Now, my question actually was, because we're talking about moral character and strong values. Has there ever been a guy in the past that, he had strong his character and values and morals was on point. He was strong with it, but ideally he probably weren't as attracted to him sexually. So it never worked out. But then you look at this point of your life, you look where he's at right now. It's he actually grown into a really great dude, great husband, great family, having great children. It's like that's a missed opportunity. Has that ever happened to you in the past or no?
I mean, there was definitely past relationships, or at least one that, there was he was a good person, wasn't as physically attracted, and eventually it ended, but I don't regret ending it. I mean, I think we were better off as friends. So I mean, I was like, he's grown into a good person. I'm not in contact with him now, but last I heard, he got married and was doing well, so I'm happy for that. But I don't regret it or anything. I think what's meant for me will be for me, and I had a certain journey to go on to figure out what I want. I mean, it's happened, but I don't regret the way things turned out.
Okay. And what about you, Carolina?
Yeah, I had a similar situation. I really trusted my ex. We had a good relationship. We never had a fight. We never had a problem. We were thinking like seriously about like getting married. We were already like living together. He was talking about kids and stuff. And he said he was gonna visit his family for New Year's and he just like never came back. And I even like worked for him. So it's like very hard to put like all your trust into someone, make life plans, be willing to like sacrifice. Like I sacrificed a lot for him. Like I sacrificed like a year and a half of my career. He left me like without a job, a lot of things. And it's very sad. Like I had a very high image of him and now I can like I I can't even see him. I detest him. I can't forgive the fact that he was weak and he got cold feet. You know, a lot of times they say like, "Oh, woman, woman, woman," but I think it's the men that are getting like cold feet. You have no idea how many like 50-year-old European guys I know, like they're just single, divorced, with no kids. For example, like right now, I'm living with a friend and she has a kid. It took me like 1 week to decide, like, oh, okay, there's a kid, that's fine. I'm gonna pitch in, it's gonna be fun. So it's not women that are not taking like responsibility. Like if anything, like women are helping each other like raise the children. It's the men that like are out there banging, being irresponsible, and like trying to blame women about this. Like as a woman, I like stop dating because there's nothing that I can do that is like correct for men. I'm 33, I'm old, I have a career, I have emotional baggage. Like everything at this point that I want to do is bad. So like why even try to please them? You know, I live my life for me and to be happy and I hopefully will find someone, but if I tell you that I'm actually looking, I don't think so because men have become so self-centered and selfish in this like I just want to be pleased. I want to be surrounded by women. I deserve this and I deserve that. And we live in a day and a time where women work too. We have careers. We're not stupid. We're not dumb anymore. So if high value men want to date multiple low value women, that's fine. Then high quality women will raise kids on their own. I mean, it's not that there's like a crisis of single mothers,
Yeah.
So why do we keep blaming women? Do you think these women want to be single mothers?
No, we're not blaming anybody, but I think we have to evaluate the choices that both men and women
Oh no, I also
are
think that
making.
it comes both ways. Women are also abandoning their families and their responsibilities for this fast life that they see online.
Okay.
It's affecting both men and women. Now
So
nobody wants to raise the kids.
okay. So just to confirm, Carolina, there was a guy in the past that you weren't attractive to sexually, but he had good moral character and values, but you couldn't make it work. But now at this point of your life, he grew up to be a good guy.
A big deception.
Okay, wait, what? Oh God, I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah, you accepted them because they're ugly, and they turn into like the worst deception ever.
Okay. Hey, Jerk, I want to ask you guys a question because one of the things I do hear from the space, from the guys' criticism of women, the guys who say that the average guy, right, the guy that would say that I have moral character, I have the values, I'll be loyal to one woman, but most of these women don't want to give me a chance. They're pursuing the guys are more attractive. Do you guys agree that the average guy are more monogamous? I don't know because I at one point I did agree that I think the average guy was going to be more monogamous, but now I kind of it's kind of doubted. I kind of doubt that that way of thinking because a lot of times, because I mean most of the guys are the OnlyFans are run by guys who are subscribed to it, porn and all these things. So I don't know if the average guy will be more monogamous more than the guy that's going to be just getting all the options if the opportunity presented himself. I don't know. But what's your thoughts on the Damien and and Drake?
More monogamous. I don't know. Like you said something interesting at the end. A lot of those average guys didn't have access to, or didn't have a lot of options, didn't have access or what have you. So they still may have it in their mind that they're curious what it's like to experience, beautiful women, or maybe they've, or to be desired. Like a lot of times, some average guys can get like caught up at work because there's a chick that's like really showing interest in them or flirting with them or being overly nice to them or what have you, and they can end up getting caught up because they're just not used to that kind of behavior, and sometimes just want to experience it, So I don't know if they're more. I think they're just as they have the ability to be just as unfaithful as the guy that has a ton of options. I think what changes the amount of women that they could have access to, and the quality of woman that they may be cheating with, maybe a little bit different.
Okay, thank you, Damien. What about you, Jerk?
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. I honestly think if most people are average, I think more average people would end up cheating, and it kind of touches on what Dame was saying, because I think those type of guys, if they're not used to getting any type of attention, and they finally get some attention, they're gonna probably act on it. I could see them happening. Where I think as a person that has options, if they choose to be in a relationship, they're gonna more than honor that, because they probably got that stuff out of their system, and that they were able to bypass all those options. So that person that they chose to align with, like we were talking about earlier, they saw that value where they got their blinders on after that point. So yeah, I think it would be average guys, honestly, that would probably entertain more stuff. And plus, if you're like we were talking about, successful too, along with that, the attraction, your time is just so limited, because you're hitting that peak. Like I said, you're probably in the gym, you're probably putting a lot of time into work. Then it's if you are in a relationship, in a healthy one, you're spending a lot of time with your whatever remaining time with your family and your partner, where you just you ain't got no time remaining to even entertain shit. So yeah, if you're average, then you're probably you're not probably hitting the gym like that. You're not probably putting that time into your work and your family, where you got remaining time to entertain some shit.
Thank you, Jerk. This is gonna be the last question, Ben, and we're gonna conclude. Ladies, and then I would love to hear what Damon and Jerk said. You guys said that you guys want. We all agree that men has to have a strong moral character, moral compass, and strong values in order to be monogamous and loyal, committed to his woman, right? We all agree on that. So my question to you ladies, how do you distinguish and judge a guy that has a strong moral character? How do you do that? When you meet a man, they'll be like, okay, you can tell that, okay, this guy is going to be the monogamy type, the husband type. This is the guy that's going to be committed to me. I know this is not the type of man that's going to look around and flirt with other women. Then of course you come a certain type of guy, oh, this is the flirty type. This is the guy that is gonna be talking to a lot of women. So how do you make that judgment? How do you distinguish the difference between the guy that, oh, this is a guy with strong moral character and values, and this is the type of man that's going to be committed to me long term and to our children, compared to the guy that you already know, okay, this guy's going to sleep around and waste my time. I'm going to avoid that guy. So how do you make that? How do you judge those types of men? How do you know that this is a guy with strong moral character and values? Go ahead, Ashley.
First off, I mean, definitely how they just present themselves. Are they trying to be really loud and flashy? Obviously, when you get to know somebody, you're trying to put your, like I said before, best foot forward. So some people can kind of act a little, more extroverted than they normally are. But I think just in general, you can see how they listen to you. Are they making eye contact with you, really listening to what you're saying? They're not looking around at other people, or as you get to know them, they're taking you can tell they're paying attention to the things that you said, the things you like, because they bring that up in conversation, or the next time you guys hang out, they like, yeah, bring something up that you guys were joking about, or they take you somewhere that they know you would like because you talked about that without actually like asking them to take you there. Just little things that show that they're really paying attention and not just I guess like showing off. But yeah, I think, and also yeah, just more of like a person, at least for me, like I can talk a lot sometimes, especially when I'm getting to know somebody, and like just having somebody like listening, and not like trying to talk over me. You can tell like they're really trying to take in what you're saying. I feel like that shows that they're interested and they're not just trying to be like flashy or trying to impress you. You can definitely tell the vibe, I think, when you meet somebody.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Ashley. I don't know. I can hear my voice in the background, but Cray Nation, I'll pass it to you. Hi, how do you judge a man's moral character? Like, this is a guy with high moral character, integrity, and values. Like, how do you make that judgment compared to the guy that you know that's going to waste your time?
It's how other people perceive him, how other people respond to him, what other people say about him. I think, you know, if you have a good moral, you have moral standards and good values, other people will express that to other people, how good of a person you are, or how upstanding you are, or how loyal or how kind you are. Other people will speak for you, whether you're sitting here telling me all these good things about you. Like, yeah, you're not gonna tell me anything negative about yourself, but I want to see what other people around you have to say, and not necessarily your family, but your friends, your coworker, and then maybe your family. Like, see how they talk about that person. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can get with that. Thank you so much, Crane Nation. And Carolina, same thing. Carolina, how do you judge a man? You know, you're a lawyer, so you know the good people in society all the way to the degenerate criminals.
I mean,
How do you judge a man's moral character that he has a good moral character that's going to be loyal and committed to you?
I judge him by the way he speaks about like other women in his life, being his ex, his mother, his daughters, and the way he also treats them. It's very important. For example, I measure men to the standards that I put my clients. I don't represent abusive men, but for example, I have a client that he knows he basically has two wives and he pays for both of them. I think he is a reasonable person. You know, I don't necessarily like judge a man strictly because of one thing, but you know, I try to see that they're being fair and balanced. You know what I mean? You can't like disrespect people, and for me disrespect is the main issue. For example, how they treat others. It doesn't matter how much money you have, if we go to a very nice place and you treat the staff bad, I'm gonna have a bad impression about you. I don't care if we're having lobster. So if you think that because you have some money and some little power, like that gives you the authority to like abuse people, I'm gonna humble you down. I don't like that,
Okay.
and I can tell that you can tell that very easily because you know, like old rich people usually are very humble. They can tell when someone is faking it and when they are being assholes.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Carolina. I just want to pass it to Damien. I have a response for the ladies, but Damien, what was your and Dirk, what was your response to what the ladies said? Is that a good way to vet out these guys based on what you heard from this, like to judge their moral character, or a lot of the things they said are things that men can fake?
I think Cray hit the nail on the head. It was like, because a dude can say all kinds of shit he can portray, but his circle of influence tells the tale, whether it's family, whether it's friends, or what have you. Because if you get with a dude, he's like, oh my God, you know, I can't stand cheaters. I'm so faithful. I've never cheated. And then you get friends, and every single one of his friends is cheated on their wives or girlfriends. You know, people kind of flock together. Or if, like, I remember one situation I had where I was dating a girl. I thought she was real nice or whatever. And this was when I was like in my 20s, And then I went home, and then like I think it was her aunt or somebody said, "Yeah, I'm glad she got with a good dude because I'm getting tired of all these like broke knuckleheads or whatever coming through the thing." I'm like, I can't be with this girl because evidently this is her mentality. If it's consistently these broke ass dudes, then she has a broke ass chick mentality. I can't be with her. I need somebody to be like, I want to be, oh my God, she was dating a lawyer or she was dating a doctor. You know, I want somebody who's more discerning in the people that she dates and that she brings to her family, you know, as opposed to say, so that's the thing. It's like their circle of influence going to let you know everything need to know about them. If you pay attention to the way they talk about stuff, the way they talk about each other, the way they talk about the women that they date, the way they treat their girlfriends, the way they treat their mom, their parents, their families, and stuff like that. That's going to tell you everything you need to know about them outside of the shit that they say. And I think, you know, that is the quickest way to really get to who the person really is inside.
All right, thank you, Damien. No, there was a skit. If I can find a skit, I'll play it. But there's a skit that it was hilarious with something you said. The guy who is whenever a girl says you're the first guy that treated me right, that's a red.
Yeah. Like I'm out of there.
Yeah, seriously.
No, there's a skit if I can find it, but the guy made this skit that he was going on a date, and the girl was like, "Man, I can't believe you're the first guy that ever took me on a date and treated me right on a date, compared to the other guys." And his face just dropped. He's like, "I'm the first one." He's like, out of all the girls, the guys they've been on the past, I'm the one that did. He's like, damn.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously.
Yeah.
Especially if we're in long-term relationship with these guys. They were like, weren't you just in a 2-year relationship and I'm the first guy who like treated you right? I was like, that's a red flag. That's a big red flag.
Yeah. The moral character didn't matter in the past. So
yeah, exactly.
Your vetting system is not on point. And Jerk, what's your response, Jerk?
What's her name? The last one on the chat. I don't want to butcher it, but that's where I was gonna go with it. She was
Delgimona.
Yeah. I can't. I'll definitely butcher that. But yeah, she must have read my mind. But yeah, I would just say like definitely kind of what we mentioned earlier. I think a guy needs to be productive. And if he's like he has a routine and he's like, say like career-wise, he's trying to move up, he's a little ambitious. Also, like he's doing physical stuff, like maybe he's in martial arts, hitting the gym, whatever. Then like, kind of with us, we do the podcast stuff with each other, maybe some other things. So if he's like working on multiple things and, constantly trying to prove and grow, I think that's a good sign, mixed in with everything everybody else says. Cause I don't think you should just have one tactic. You need to have like pretty much take what everybody said here and use all these different things aligned with each other. But I just think like guys that have like they're immersed in like positive stuff and they embrace growth. You just don't have time to entertain bullshit. So it's like if they have a vision, they're saying, hey, I'm working towards this. I want to move up in my career. And like I said, every other activity is positive and it's about growth. Yeah, they just got that tunnel vision where they're just not going to jump out there and try to chase everything because time is just limited. So I think that's a real good factor to look at if I was a female. It's like, okay, is he spending his time on positive stuff? And, like Dame said, does he also his network and stuff? And I think everybody else had great points. So yeah, line all that up.
All right. Thank you so much, Jerk. Yeah, I agree with a lot of everything that you said. I think the one thing I would just say with Ashley, a lot of the things you said, Ashley, was more on what he said compared to what his behavior said. And I think a lot of the times when you focus on what the man's saying, a lot of that can be faked. But I think Delky Mo in the live chat made a great point. If you ask a man, if you see a man that's working towards something, he's very disciplined. But if you see that most of the things that he's saying is aligning with what he's actually doing, I think that's a good, which is pretty much for me, that's what accountability is. If you find a man that's accountable, that everything he says to you, that he actually does it and is consistent for a long period of time, that's not a facade. I think that's a good sign that that's a type of person that is going to be committed to the things that he says, especially when it comes to a vow or a principle, especially when it comes to monogamy. So just be careful with the, because I know you said Ashley, he was a good listener. He listened to everything I said. guys who waste their time, they're very good listeners. The guy, very good listeners. The guy who wants sex, these guys are expert. They have a PhD when it comes to just listening.
He got that notebook. He was like, "Oh, Ashley says she like filet mignon. Let me write that down.
Yeah.
And rose petals, roses."
Just
He's
be
like, "I got
careful,
that." He's like, "I picked up on that."
Give him that cheat code.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot just to listen and memorize the things that you said and then just say it back to you. So.
You hear some music now. The dudes ain't got to listen. If you give them your social media, they can learn everything about you. Like that TV show, he can become your ideal dream man just by going on your IG.
Yeah.
Oh, she like dogs? I'm gonna take her to go pet dog. Oh, she like walks in the park. Oh, I love walks in the park. No, and he don't like walks in the park. I mean, he can become your dream man just based off the game the cheat codes that you got on your social media. But it's different
when you get to know them more. Like the more you hang out with somebody, you can kind of see like, okay, but it's fake or.
But what's the drawback? He'll do it enough to get in your pants. And then once you started on that road, women have a hard time pulling back once they start sleeping with the dude. Then they'll start just be like, oh, he can start pulling back, but you'll be like, okay, what happened and what have you? But you've invested something of value to him to where you will stick it out. Hopefully he'll get back to that, or you'll come up with excuses why he's not doing it a lot of times. I like
well, what if you've hung out with somebody, like, say, for quite a while, and they've had the chance to like just get physical, sleep with you, but they didn't want to and they wanted to actually get to know you?
He's gay.
He wants to be your girlfriend. Hang out.
It's trash.
No. All I'm saying is, hold on. If you go out, you said you've been for a little bit of time, and the opportunity comes to get physical, and he doesn't take it, there's something else going on there. I'm sorry. That is very unlikely that the guy is saying not he was just doing something just to get some. All I'm saying is, but if everything is hitting and he's hitting and he's showing you what you need to hear, and you say, cool, I'm open to a physical relationship, and he pulls back, there's something going on in him that you're not. There's an X factor that you are not a party to.
What
you got
if
a girlfriend.
I never said I was open to that, like.
Oh, then what you talking about? You said he had the opportunity to. He didn't have a chance to. You're not open to it.
I'm just hypothetically saying, like,
that would never happen. Okay.
Both agreed, like.
Okay, that hypothetical would never happen. I thought you was the one off where that happened. The one woman on the planet.
Yeah, that's never happened.
Yeah, that's a guy that's running game. Like if he's doing all that, he's just trying to make it seem like he's a outlier. But
you made me think we were talking about reality. He's talking about hypotheticals. Ain't no man hypothetically after a couple of months of kicking it with you.
Just playing games too. If I had the opportunity, but I didn't take it.
Well, no, because you're trying to. You're trying to preserve the power dynamic, because right now when you're still the mouse and he's the cat. You're still the one being pursued. You're still the one who's in the driver's seat when it comes to that dating. But what you call it? But
how do you make the sound?
Once you give it up, once you have it up, then you got to worry has that power dynamic shift. As he's just like, all right, I got what I want, and now I'm gonna just move on or what have you. So
I don't think there's anything wrong with taking things a little slow. I mean, I'm not saying
I don't either.
If you've known them for years, then that's different. But like, if you've known them for weeks or something, I feel like
if you know him for a month, if the dude's willing to rock with you for a month, and you decide after 3 months, okay, I'm gonna give him some, and he doesn't take you up on it, which will never happen. If he's been waiting the 3 months and he's heterosexual, it will never happen. And he doesn't take you up. There's something else going on.
Yeah, there's something else.
There's a lot wrong taking it slow. Y'all ain't paying for these damn dates. Y'all be talking. Y'all ain't on the hook for paying for this shit.
Yeah, seriously.
I think a few months you could still get.
A few months is reasonable.
Obviously going on for a very long time, but that's different. But.
And also just one thing before we conclude, we talk about monogamy and for the ladies, how can you vet out a man that would have the best chance for you to find a man that's monogamous? It's something I think about all the time. When it comes, there's a saying that goes when it comes to being healthy. Healthy is not a diet; it's a lifestyle. So if you want a guy that's monogamous, whatever monogamy looks to you when it comes to the dynamic of the relationship you want for you, just find a guy that lives a monogamous lifestyle, right? The guy that tends to be non-monogamous. If you look at his lifestyle, he's probably just partying a lot, probably going to a club a lot, probably not focused on his work, probably doing a lot of things. But usually guys are very focused. They have a long-term plan. They want to get married. They have a vision for how many kids they want, that future they want. Usually if you see their lifestyle, and Jerk also brought up, it's a very, you can see that he's moving towards something. He has a plan, he has a vision, and he's living a monogamous lifestyle, discipline. He's not doing drugs. He doesn't have alcohol. He's not an alcoholic. He's not doing things that will go against the very foundation of building a family. So if you see guys that want a family, they're already living their life, preparing themselves for the outcomes they want. So if his outcome is, I want a wife, I want a family, I want a monogamy, you tend to find guys that are living their life already that way. It's just a matter of attracting the woman that he wants and choosing a good woman and starting a family. He's already living that way. He's not just living his lifestyle however he wants to be. And then finally he finds because I've heard this from both men and women. I'll live however I want to live, but once I find the man or the woman I want, then I'll make the changes. I've heard that from a lot of women. I don't know. I'll be a wife once I find the right man. So it's like, nah. The women who want to be wives, they're already moving. They're already living themselves, being that wife and being that feminine woman. It's just a matter of attracting that person. So, yeah, just find men who are already living a life that represents a monogamous relationship, the relationship that you want. If you find guys already doing that single, there's a good chance that he's looking for a monogamous relationship. It's just a matter of finding that woman, and you may be that one, but he's already living his life that way. So, Damien, you about to say something?
I think Carolina's asleep.
Oh, she dead? Oh, no, she awake. She awake.
Will, I just want to tack on something on
the. It's 12 p.m. in Panama, and I do have to go to trial tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we about to.
We about to.
I have a client that if I don't show up, they're gonna condemn him to pay $300,000. Poor guy.
That's all good.
Oh, wow.
All right, Carolina. But thank you. But we've come to the end. Thank you so much, Rico. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to everybody, Ashley, Carolina, Crane Nation, Jerk, Damien, Lucario, and also Watch. Thank you for jumping on. I'll be part of the panel. We had a great show. We're talking about it's a man's nature to be monogamous. We saw a different perspective. So I hope this episode doesn't deter people from finding love and finding committed relationships, finding good men. They are out there. Just focus on the things they need to look for in the vetting process, and just become the type of person that person is looking for. That will definitely help. So I'll pass it to the ladies. Ladies, final thoughts on tonight's topic and takeaways, and how can they find you? I'll start with you, Ashley. Ashley, good to see you again. Thank you for jumping on the pod.
Yeah, of course.
What's your final thoughts on tonight's conversation? You still a firm believer there's a good man out there? There's gonna be you're gonna have a monogamous relationship with the future?
Definitely. I still think there are good people, and there are people who take things slow because they're not fuckboys, and just because they don't want to hook up with you, especially if you say you don't want to hook up right away and they respect that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. To me, that's a value I would appreciate in a man. So I definitely think there's someone out there for me. And you can find me on Instagram at the.Ashley. I don't know. I forget my handle. I'll come back to you.
No worries. Good to have you back, Ashley. Thank you so much. All right. I'll pass it to you, Carolina. Carolina, as always good to have you all the way from Panama. Thank you so much for making the time. Always good to hear your final thoughts, and how can they find you, Carolina?
I do believe that relationships can be monogamous. I do believe that there are a lot of good men and women out there. We shouldn't just bash all men because some men are bad. I know good men and bad men, and I do have the faith that if I keep working on myself, I'm trying to be a better person and loving myself, I will find somebody that can appreciate me the way that I appreciate myself, which is what I hope at the end of the day. And thank you for having me. I always enjoy having these conversations. And I hope that through these conversations, we can enlighten people and help them navigate the complexities of modern dating.
All right, Carolina, thank you so much. I always appreciate your stories that you always you always get to say and present on the podcast. Very interesting, very interesting. Curry Nation, thank you so much. As always, thank you for jumping on again. And I know if you're a man out there that's willing to give her that deal, hey, she's ready for that deal, y'all.
No. Relationship. I love my man.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing with you. I'm playing with you. But yeah, final thoughts and how can they find you?
What's the final thoughts? I would say that you can have whatever you want, but you have to walk in that power and you have to work on yourself. Don't say you're going to change anything when you get in a relationship, because it doesn't work like that. You already have to be becoming that. So I just say walk in your power, stand firmly on your boundaries, and don't settle for less. Like, I don't care how lonely it gets. I don't care how bored you are. I don't care how many of your friends get boyfriends and get dumped, get boyfriends, get dumped, all that stuff. Just stand firmly on your boundaries and always remember what your end goal is in that relationship once you get it.
All right. Thank you so much, Crane Nation. Always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
All right. As always, Jerk, final thoughts. How can they find you, Jerk?
All right, you can find me on the Manic Sophistication channel and over here rocking out with Will on Thursdays, and when Dame get back to it on over on his show. But a great topic, Will. I do think there's monogamous guys out there. You know, you just gotta, like you said towards the end, man, you gotta find the one that lines up with you. And I think all of us, we gotta just start having more awareness, and don't let your preferences, push you out of finding that right person. Because I think a lot of times we're just all naturally a little picky, and we tend to look for the wrong things versus the characteristics and the values, and that's what trips people up. And I had to give Cray a little pushback. You're not going to get everything you want. Not you. I'm just saying to everybody, you're not going to get shit. There's no manifestation anybody. It's not going to happen.
Within reason.
Yeah. Hey,
okay, there you go. We're within reason, yeah.
Hey, speaking about picky, last time I had Ashley here, she said that she wanted the blonde, white, tall, blue eyes man.
I said I don't care about the height requirement anymore.
Oh, you moved off that?
Blue eyes, or is that your new type of blonde and blue eye man?
That's not my new type. That's been my type.
Oh, okay. Blonde and blue eyes. Okay.
Yep.
Where's all the good men at? They got this whole list of shit.
And that's not very long.
Enjoy that Puerto Rican boyfriend.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a guy with blue eyes in years.
They're everywhere.
Good luck. Good luck. All right, Damon. As always, Damon. Always good to have you back, Damon.
Yeah, man.
Happy to find you, Damon.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's always good to be back. This is a good topic. I always like talking about this. Monogamy is not in our men's nature, what have you. But if you, we control our baser instincts and baser nature all the time. Monogamy to the wrong person sucks, and monogamy to the right person is phenomenal. You just got to make sure you're picking the right person who makes it easy for you to be monogamous. They've established yourself as something far more than just their value is far more than just the physical aspect of who they are. So yeah, it's just take the time, find the right person, find what your values are, your non-negotiables are, and just make sure if you find somebody who meets that, it'll be easier to be monogamous with somebody. But if you don't desire monogamous, if it don't fit, don't force it.
All right. Thank you so much, Damien. And I agree with Jerk responding to Crane Nation. There's a lot of guys out there and women. You're not going to manifest shit. But that's why we have this show. So you can come on here and we can tell you why you're not manifesting the shit that you want in your life. And we can kind of give you solutions by discussion. So that's why we exist, for those people. So
we saving lives and keeping body counts low out over here.
Facts. But great panel. We had some good guests. Lucario jumping on, Watch jumping on. We had some good guests jumping on. Definitely check out their channels as well. But we had a great show. Thank you so much, everybody. Don't forget, Like and subscribe so you get notifications. Do go live next Thursday. New panel and new topic. Everybody have a great night.
You too.
Peace, yo. Peace.
So.
Peace.